was actually a brief bit of time right after I did the SingStar Retro Achievement set, and I would just always hear the song, and I'd always just think Careless Whisper every single time, because I've been listening to Careless Whisper so much. Anyway, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. It is the Biendeo stream today on this fine 7th of July, 2025. I hope you're having a wonderful week, and we'll have a wonderful week ahead of you. Sup, Fetty? How's it going? But yeah, no, it's been a very nice, chill, but also slightly adventurous week for me. There's been a lot of, I guess, learning new things, and I have some stuff happened last week. That's good. I feel like it's been a decently exciting week, so let's dive into the game, and we'll go with that. Man, you know, I've got 5 other games on my retro arc that I've played before Dragon Quest 3. That's how you know I've been playing stuff. But yeah, no, it's been a very good week. Lots of stuff happened. Dragon Warrior 3. Yes. Is that how they say it in French? I'm always curious about like games like this, because they would have done a localization once, but then do we keep doing a localization? I don't know. So, or for the other languages. I always hear that there's a lot of, like, Korean versions of games just, like, floating around, you know? So there's always that. But yeah, on the last stream of Dragon Quest, we wandered around the underground land of Alefgard, which is basically the area from the first game that also appeared in the second game. So, the first Dragon Quest game to come out in Europe was Dragon Quest 8 on the PS2. That is true. That is true. None of them actually had European releases until then. A lot of US releases, but in the US they started to be called Dragon Quest by the time of Dragon Quest 8 anyway, so... but yeah, no, we explored this whole, well, not the whole place, but a lot of it. And we're gonna go back to Cole, and we're gonna continue to give it a look. But the party's doing alright. We're feeling nice and funky fresh at the low 30s. That is true. This is secretly a prequel. Dragon Quest 3 is secretly a prequel to Dragon Quest 1 and 2. And then also, well, not absolutely none of the games. 4, 5, and 6 have a very, like, thin thread that connects them. And then all the rest are just very unrelated. The nice part about 4, 5, 6 is that because you've got all... 3 of them on the DS, you get to play them with a very consistent art style as well, which is nice. But you do have to play Dragon Quest 6 without the monster tamer mechanic being the same as the Super Famicom version, which is a bit of a shame. So, that is like the one like kind of catch on that version. The HD 2D remake of Dragon Quest 3, the one we're playing, if you're playing along at home and you've got that version, you'll probably have that Monster Tamer class and you'll be like, oh, why aren't you using it? The reason why I'm not using it is because it's not in any of the other versions. It's added into that re-release, which is actually fine and fair, and I do like that, but yeah, it's like, yes, super duper enhanced version, and then you get other re-releases where it's like stuff is sort of dragged back a little bit, and Dragon Quest 6, that's the one that has... slightly dragged back just because of that monster tamer mechanic. It's not the end of the world, and the game's not really about it in the same way that Dragon Quest V is, but it is a bit disappointing that it was there in the original version and it's not there in the remake, so maybe when they do HD 2D remakes, they just continue on. Just do 4, 5, 6. They know the moment they release Dragon Quest V as well, it's gonna sell bajillions in Japan, because they all love it. It's one of their, like... I mean, Dragon Quest is a very prestigious franchise in Japan, but particularly Dragon Quest V. It's like Final Fantasy VII, except, yeah. 7 and 8 will be interesting, if and when they do it. Well, you say you can't wait for the HD 2D remakes, but we've already got a 2D version of Dragon Quest XI, so... It's actually not, like, against... I'd say it's very in line for them to do that. To release a 2D... HD 2D version. It would be a little bit of a demake, but wasn't Dragon Quest 11 on the 3DS already that? So, yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. But yeah, so this past week, fair bit of stuff has happened, so that's all good. I'll probably start off by saying I am actually making some okay progress on the car driving game. I really want to start working on menus and other kinds of, like, not like hard interface, but just things, you know, piece by piece. What is something that the player can physically see and interact with? And we'll start building those. And then any specifics on I guess, like, you know, oh, do the controls feel right or all that stuff, we'll iron out a bit more over time. I think I was meant to sleep in an inn on the way. That's okay. We might be able to get there. So this cave, you may remember, dig, and dig again. This cave, you may remember, was literal straight line cave, the game. And it is not a straight line in this game, for some reason. It's a slightly incomplete straight line. And it's also incomplete. The mission now is we need to acquire a bunch of key items and then basically head to the end of the game. So I'm going to take a crack at it this stream. Most likely. We're very close to the end of the game, to the point that if the final boss decides to get whacked off easily, then yeah, no. Game's done. Easy. But we'll see. Okay, so yeah, turns out I am... We need to go back to Tantago and sail around, because they're not too happy about, I guess, going through that tunnel. I was like, oh, is there anything in it? Nope. I think it's purely there to say, hey, yes, there is a tunnel. It's in there in the chronologically later games, earlier release games. But it's not there right now. Or it's not finished right now, so we need to go around. But yeah, no, I've been working on the game. So the one thing I really wanted to implement over this past week, posted breaking news. Oh boy, how breaking are we talking about? You're gonna have to give me the deets on that one if it's a relevant on-topic thing. Also, if it's a retro achievements thing, I guess. Power Gig. Wow. Which one was Power Gig? Power Gig. Oh. Ah, I see. The Lost DLC. That's nice that that's there. I'm looking at this. I didn't know about this game ever. I think partially because it's a US only release, which is always... It's always a bit... this is a PS3 game, by the way, so I was also thinking, like, oh, you know, is this some kind of older system? No. 2010. This is right at the death of the peripheral rhythm game. And well before Rocksmith, which is quite interesting. But other than that, I don't know too much about it. Is it just... Well, it isn't. Yeah, the 360 is an older system, but, like, we'll say not old enough to be supported on retro achievements, we'll just say. Received negative reviews. Oh, the quality of the bundled guitar, and that, besides the motor, added power chords to songs. It was identical to its competitions. Greetings, Bob. Oh, it's still a peripheral rhythm game. It just so happens to actually have a guitar. Oh, that's a weird one. The setlist is a very decent size, though, for a game out of nowhere. Like, you have to if you're going to compete with Guitar Hero, but... Like, I'm looking at it going, you know, you got... You wrote Eric Clapton for Layla, though, instead of Derek and the Dominoes. I am going to take marks off for that. Dang it, Wikipedia. But, like, you got a bunch of ones that I see. You know, you got your Rise Against. You got your Lacuna Coil. You got your Silver Sun Pickups. I'm a little bit miffed because in high school we had an annual Rock Band concert, and I was drumming for a bunch of mates, and we didn't get a. We tried playing Layla, and they didn't let us in on that one, which is a bit of a shame. That was on our second go. Our first go, we did a. Actually, no, we did it on the first one. Yeah, we did. Sorry, we did Layla on the first one. We didn't get it on the second one. We tried playing Livin' La Vida Loca, which was a bit more of an improv-y thing. But no, Layla's a great one. Also, we only played the first half of Layla. Also, we were only a trio, which was a bit of a English version. Infirmost. There we go. Also, everyone's favorite. I mentioned Silver Sun Pickups. I was like, oh, what's the stream name going on there? Also, everyone's favorite Snow Patrol. Everyone loves Snow Patrol. But yeah, we should be able to. Where's the edge of the continent here? I think it's around here. Here we go. We'll just keep going all the way. Why not? Snow Crash. Do they have Snow Crash in that game? Is that a band? I got Corn. There you go. Well, that's interesting there. So, but yeah, on my game, it's the progress so far is that I really wanted to make the controls feel a little more responsive. The default vehicle body 3D in the Godot engine is yeah, Found Meteor is cool. Yeah, the default vehicle 3D in the Godot engine is quite basic. It's straightforward enough that it gets you having a car in your game, but I don't know if it's competent enough to tick all the boxes depending on what you want to do, and definitely not for what I was wanting to do. I'm not there yet. I just walked onto land and now I gotta deal with these guys. Oh boy. Ah, stuff it. Nah. I know what happens with these guys. It's Panic City. This is gonna be fun. There we go. Get out of here. No! Come on. But yeah, so the vehicle body 3D, and I looked at its source code as well, just to sort of understand it a bit more recently. Because I'm sort of like, what are the parts I want to keep and what are the parts I want to change? And the vehicle body 3D is smart enough to go, oh, okay, like, you can set individual wheels to be there for traction or there for throttle. Or steering, I think, sorry. Traction is throttle. There you go, check out this guy here. This is the Sacred Shrine. Oh, you're here at last. The rain and sun shall be joined. The rainbow drop is yours. It's very important to come here, just for that. Oh, the treasure chest behind me. Oh, it's empty. Oh, it is a shrine, but everyone likes a good old rainbow gumdrop. And then technically you can get her on foot. But I mean we're already on our way there, so might as well. They give you the boat, and you sort of can cheese a lot of the world with the boat. But yeah, if we sail up north, we'll hit land, because that's where it bridges over. And we'll just keep walking up around. Yeah, you gotta watch out for Goldman. But yeah, anyway, so the vehicle body 3D, it's got some things, but it doesn't let you customize the drag of the car. So as your car accelerates, ideally you have a quadratic force proportional to the speed of the car, or rather its velocity. Well, yeah, rather its velocity, because it's inverse in force. And that should slow the car down. And that's what stops you from speeding up faster and faster infinitely, is that you've got a quadratic force acting against you. Goldmen, by the way, give you tons of money. Did you just see that 2,000 gold right there? So if you need to buy stuff, you fight the Goldmen. That's where it's at. It's just the fact they come in groups as well. In fact, actually, I think this region is probably where you want to fight if you want to grind. Because there's also a chance for liquid metal slimes. They're scraping their bodies. No, they crumble into, like, gold bits. You just sell their bits. You know, it's animate rock, so when you kill her, it's inanimate. And it's just regular gold. So yeah, so I do need to figure that out a bit more. But yeah, the trickiest part was just... Well, not the trickiest part, because it's going to keep going, but... I'm reading up a lot on how games in the early 2000s did physics. And there's a really great page from 2003 that I'm actually reading up about this. But effectively, it's like, yeah, like, how do gears work in a car? What actually is happening there? And turns out it's a bit of actual magic. Like, the revs of the engine is... like, actually related to the speed of the car, and the change of the speed of the car is related to the revs of the engine. So you sort of have to do it implicitly. You set the engine in 1,000 revs per minute, and then the moment you try to apply throttle, the car begins to move forward, which turns the engine up, and so on, and then, yeah, that's how this all works. So it's a bit tricky. It's a bit kind of tricky, but the important part is that it just needs to work for the game. It's like, it's not actual full-on, like, science of how exactly to get the car to work. Now, that being said, we gotta take this a bit further, because the next part is to then go, well, I don't have the gears quite working yet. Like, I've got it where it goes up, but I also don't have it where, when you change gears, the engine revs should change, because the revs are proportional to the gear ratio. Sorry, how would I put it? There's a constant factor of the gear ratio which determines how fast the or how much torque is applied for the engine output. But then as you want the car to go faster and faster, you actually need the engine to not be tied to the wheel spin as much. So that's what the gears do, basically, is that you move the car up in gears, and and then, yeah, the engine stops stalling at the top end. It goes faster than 80 k's an hour, so yeah, I need to get that implementation working a bit okay. That shouldn't take too long, that's pretty close right now. And then, once we've got that, the next thing is to implement Slip. Apparently the official Domino's Pizza account demanded the Final Fantasy IX remake to be final. Why are they skipping 8, though? That's what I'm curious about. Like, I know people do like 9, but people also like 10, and people like 12, and all that. I am stealing everything of these people. This is the last town, by the way, because we're almost there. So, rumor has it that the light armor is hidden away in the tower where Rubus has been sealed. I mean, we've grabbed it all, haven't we? Did I equip it? I'm not too sure if I equipped it last stream. Yeah, I'm holding on to all this stuff. I think the only thing I'm not holding on to right now is actually, yeah, no, I'm pretty set, I think. Yeah. No, that's the King's Sword, which costs a bit, so that's why we'll need to grind a little bit. And that's at Cole. That's just chilling there. I didn't pick that up, did we? Might as well reorder. Just change the equipment. We'll see what's going on there. So the point is, there's a lot of stuff to, I guess, Final Fantasy VIII source code was lost. Well, I know 8 source code is lost, but also so is 10's, and they've just remade 10. So, like, what stops them from doing that? Yeah, Devil Sword. Everyone likes a good old Devil Sword. Yeah, I don't have the fancy sword, but the Flame Boomerang is nice. Yeah, 10 swords are well, it's less lost and more they just said they've deleted it, and it's such a shame that, like, source code didn't get preserved like that, but it happens. There's tons of games like that, unfortunately. You could reverse the game. You could figure it out like that as well. I don't need to revive. How may I be of service? There we go. But yeah, that's always a common criticism I see of Final Fantasy X's remake. No dev comments that, well, yeah. To be fair as well, if you're writing comments in code, you're sort of doing it wrong. But also, binaries will most likely, at least release binaries, will most likely strip lots of your, you know, well-intentioned names out of it because it's unimportant for a release binary. So, what is this building over here doing? It's got a door on the far end. Might as well see what's going on there, so... oh wow, I've got to go really around. I'm really worried. I wonder if anyone has disturbed the things that I left at the inn. I have something important that Ortega left in my care. Well, let's go into the inn. Wow! We're gonna start burning through seeds eventually, don't we, as well? A life ring. Wow. So I think the life ring is... What's the life ring? Yeah, okay. A few days ago. Yes. The layoff massacre. This one's... how would I put it? The absolute number is like... I think I saw like 9,000 employees, which is an insane amount of employees across various studios, and there's various projects that are basically just like, yeah... If they haven't been said to have been cancelled, they basically are. So Perfect Dark was basically one of the big victims, which, granted, that trailer came out ages ago. The fact that they were radio silent on it, it's like... Romero game? Yeah. I would like to see a magic key. Well, one day you will. Maybe. For reference, the life ring as well, if you equip that, it actually restores health as you walk around, which is nice. Increases your vitality stat by 25 as well, which is really nice because, I don't know, some characters might actually really want that. So, that's all good. Let's see, what else have I got going on? I've got my list of places we need to get to and talk about. I don't think there's anything really else. No, I think we're good. Yeah. So we might as well have a waltz towards the final boss, and we'll sort of gauge what's happening there. But yeah, no, we're right there. We're right at the end. Because all you need to do now is you walk to the final boss's dungeon and you go, yeah, show me the money. So that'll be all good. But yeah, so the next thing to implement, by the way, is I got to do slips. So the idea is that as the car turns, there's actually a perpendicular force that drags the car back out. That's what causes understeer, and then oversteer is sort of when the friction coefficient across the tires is, well, surpassed basically, is the force passing its maximum traction force, and then if it does, the tires slip, and then the slip, well, not slipping as in terms of slip diff, but they unlock. They basically lose traction, and then, you know, your acceleration goes all over the place. So I'm not going to jump into that just yet. I think I'll probably just get like the standard kind of like, oh, the car turns and that's okay. It might control like big rigs for a while, but that's all in due time. It'll get there. So that's all good. But yeah, so what else about the Xbox thing? There was, how would I put it? There is a very, very, very topical, how would I put it? It's very politics, the idea of visa programs and stuff. But I do see a lot of people really getting upset, and I rightly get this, about how the layoffs are happening, but simultaneously there are job applications open for those roles, and cynically, it's not just job applications, but also specifically overseas applications. And I personally feel very bad about that in terms of like, oh, you know, like if you have roles that were within your country. I mean, I guess you're an international company, but like still, it's like, I don't know. It feels a bit rough to me to be like, yeah, it's like, why? Sorry, not why, because the easy why is that, oh, you know, these, you know, Microsoft. I don't know if Xbox Game Studios is, but Microsoft is based in Washington State. They have a very, very, very high expectation for salary, and I know of big companies where basically your salary is artificially inflated because you live in one of these like very, very high, you know, I guess, value areas for property. It's nice if you know, for jobs where it's like back in the day when work from home wasn't as prominent. It's like, yeah, you know, like, it makes a lot of sense. It'll be like, oh, okay, well, you have to pay for the cream of the crop if they're in your area, because obviously all these big companies are competing in Silicon Valley. But blah blah record. True. Yeah, there's a. I think it's not helpful to. How would I put it? I get the frustration. We'll just say that. Like, it's a very sensitive topic because it's very easy to devolve into broad comments, and whether it is like racism or that kind of stuff. It's like, I don't think it's healthy giving a comment about like a whole group of people like that, because it's very easily like, okay, well, it's not the whole group of people, but it is very much like India comes up a lot in these conversations, and China. It's like those two in particular. China less for the lower wage employees, but India certainly. I have a big problem, and I personally experienced this, where it was like, yeah, like you'd see Indian employees basically being paid like 2/3 of what you're being paid, and it's like, oh, okay, like, why are they treated lesser like that? But then they're expected to do, well, are they expected to do the same amount of work? And the answer is, ooh, bigotry of low expectations sometimes. It's just like, Microsoft wouldn't really treat the officer. Well, yeah, like, that's the problem. You know, like, what is the, like, what is the item I'm looking for? We're looking for the thingy I just got. Where is it? Who's holding on to it? I'm pretty sure I passed it somewhere. Unless it's somewhere in the middle. Not Mystic Nut. Well, yeah, there are indeed. Oh, the rainbow drop. There we go. Chuck that right here. And there we go. But yeah, like, it's a very sensitive topic because of that. Because, yeah, like, I think a lot of people, and especially if you do work in a tech company, I think you will have opinions on this. I think a lot of people will 100% have this. I don't like the idea of the race to the bottom. I don't like I know companies are very, you know, like, amorphous blobs, and ultimately chasing profits is the high motive of a company, and especially a publicly traded company. Capitalism, oh, there we go. But yeah, like, I don't like the idea of the profits need to be chased. The headcount is insane, because a lot of these big companies hired so many people during COVID, by the way. It was very crazy. And then I hate the idea of, oh, well, we need to keep the momentum, we need to keep the velocity and the headcount, so effectively the layoffs become like a visa program. Effectively, if you keep the... Oh no! Don't hit air that hard. Stone Man. Wait, didn't we do Spoon Man already? But yeah, like, it is a bit of a race to the bottom, and I don't like... I think that the layoffs are... How would I do? They're explanatory. I wouldn't exactly say justified, and I hate the fact that the state of particularly all technology companies, and not just gaming companies, drove themselves into this. This is, like, absolutely dreadful. I worked at somewhere where it was just like, yeah, like, here's all these layoffs, have fun, everyone. It's like, oh, okay. Those workers were simply not needed. Well, okay, first of all, people are going to defend any opinion on Twitter for some reason. So I wouldn't exactly say that, like, just because there are people on Twitter, you know, saying it, I wouldn't say it's a common opinion. Best I would say is someone's playing devil's advocate, so we'll always say that. Were they simply not needed anymore? You know, like, in literal terms, maybe. But honestly, I'm like, there are so many people's jobs that probably aren't needed. And that sounds very harsh, but, like, way more than these layoffs. I think the analogy I always say is the fact that, like, Instagram was, like, 12 people when they sold it for $1 billion. You do not need the insane headcounts of, you know, these game studios have insane headcounts. The Assassin's Creed credits that took 2 hours to get through. And that's not, like, everyone memes on the Mighty Number 9 one, but at least, like, that's, one, it's slow scrolling, and two, it's all Kickstarter backers. That's the reason why those credits are so long. But, like, Assassin's Creed was legitimately, like, that's just a long credit sequence, man. Did it have to be that long? Also, it's fun having Air with, like, 400 health. Oh, sorry, Nyx with 400 health. Give us a heal us. Unfortunately, MP will, you know, never come back. You gotta do a proper revive or rest at the end for that, but... Well, yeah, companies are wasteful, but also companies deliver stuff. And I can't knock on companies for being, yeah... Well, yeah, like, it's a double-edged sword. It's like, I think there is a balancing act, and, I will get onto the stop killing games stuff in a moment. I got a little bit of an update for that. But that has a similar theme of, you know, there's the balance between the end users, so the consumers, the civilians, corporations, and government. And sort of it's like there's this idea that, you know, companies are going to do naturally what companies benefit from. That there's no doubt about it. And these big companies, you know, like the harsh reality of it is that you work for a company because you want to deliver good value stuff, and anytime a company draws you in with, like, oh, your family, or, you know, you're a part of something bigger, it's like, oh, bro, like, it's a bit of emotional manipulation. I sort of am a bit soured by that. I don't like the idea of corporations forgetting that ultimately there should be humans consuming their products. They're going to start arguing about this when it's like, oh, you know, it's the AI machine eventually, and suddenly you don't have to be human in your you know, responses there. Here we go, by the way. Nice big castle. I don't think, there's a couple of chests to get, but it's a pretty straightforward castle. But we do have to deal with the Troll Kings and the Mantigores. So we gotta get through that. But yeah, like, companies need to find that balance. The problem was companies making the dumbest decisions possible and risking their money in a fad. Yes, 100%. I err on the side of, not to say that, like, all companies are, you know, how would I put it? Microsoft is a very big company. I don't think they're entirely uneducated in chasing fads, because sometimes they will know the fads well before we realize what we're getting out of it. I think out of, like, 100 companies chasing AI stuff, I feel like at least 4% of them are at least striking some decent gold. Stuff is happening. It just really sucks to be part of that 96% that's doing the wrong thing. And I think the game industry is somewhat in this boat. They're sort of racing to the bottom, and this idea of the game service is a cynical, it is a cynical profit decision, and I'll get into that. Or rather, it can't all just be chalked up to, well, sorry, they think it will be. There is incompetence in the mix. But I think they think it will be a profit. They think there will be something out of it. Like, I don't think necessarily incompetence, selfishness, and arrogance could be sort of like a product in pursuit of chasing a profit. But ultimately, it's like, the reason why we call it incompetence or selfishness or arrogance is because it doesn't work. And there will be things... Also, gotta make sure I don't cast magic. Oh, that's gonna be awkward, because that's gonna bounce back. Or is it? It's not a spell. Maybe that's why it doesn't bounce back. Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, these companies are gonna... they make blunders. What they should be doing is at least making sure that, one, the blunders are not, you know, financially killing. Unfortunately, a lot of big companies are publicly traded, and publicly traded companies are basically beholden to the shareholders. And shareholders, they just need to be convinced whether you get through a blunder, you could pass it off as, oh, it's a step towards something even greater, which is like, oh, okay, sure. It's almost like during Concord, the atmosphere of toxic positivity. Well, yeah, toxic positivity is a bad thing, and I do hate the idea of, like, people not telling it like it is. We got the Demon King. That's right, we gotta fight more Grand Titan. Oh, Grand Titans, actually. They're not just gold men, they are the big boys. Maybe I should be, sapping them. I'm actually curious how much health these guys have. But they are gonna hit hard. Yeah, 48's not fun, and that's, oh, and that's attacking twice. But we do have the bounce armor, so that at least is that. Let's just keep healing more. Yeah, let's just go for some straightforward attacks. But yeah, and I think there is something very frustrating about companies that, how would I put it? There's a lot of companies out there that are so big that they do not know how to operate under that kind of scale. So, imagine the OG Doom. This is made with, like, you know, like 4 programmers, a couple of level designers, some artists, you know what I mean? Like, you could fit everyone in the same room, you can talk to everyone at the same time, that's such an important detail, and you can, you know, your responsibilities are very clear. People have certain responsibilities. Eventually, let's add another layer to that. So suddenly now you have so many developers, you might need a developer kind of manager. And then you've got so many artists, maybe you need a lead artist to sort of be that person. And then you get your leads to all talk to each other. It's not the worst thing in the world, but notice how, like, okay, well, now you rely on that lead person to direct to direct the people underneath, to get them to nothing stopping. Oh, exactly. And the one thing, like, I'm trying to understand when I make my game is, I want to know, is this something that, like, sorry, I want to know very soon, how long is it actually going to take to make this kind of game? Because to me, I'm like, it seems like it would take, I mean, maybe as a hobby it might take a bit longer, but if it was something I started driving a bit more full-time, like, what is the amount of time it takes to actually produce this? Because if it's, like, more than 1 year, to me, I'm like, what am I doing? It should really only take more than 1 year if I'm just cramming out, like, so much content that, like, oh, okay, makes sense that it's taking so long. If, like, the actual programming is taking so long, I'm doing something wrong. You know, you gotta keep your game scope real, like, tight, I feel. There's too many games, and last week when, you know, when we're all sort of dogging on pirate software, but, like, legit, it's like, why is your game being in early access for 8 years? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta... There are people doing it full-time, and stuff happens quickly. If you're selling it in early access, I think you are under a bit of an obligation to sort of, like, you know... No need to rush, but, like, hurry up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I do wish the progress got there, and I think it's very easy, especially for someone when they stream all that kind of stuff. It's very easy to get the perception that they're just sort of slacking off or stuff like that, so... there's a game I'm a big fan of early access on. I got burnt out too much by games like that, so I just sort of hop away. But I did follow Factorio for a very long time when it was in its early access days, so Let's step guard because you know how this floor is about to go. Here we go. Check out these chairs. Oh. Ooh! I know there's Archmate. Oh. Can we get him? Can we get him? No. Okay. Called Catacomb Kids. And it's a platformer roguelite of sorts. Also, Exploder isn't fun, but hey, we'll make do. It's very hard but intricate. I feel like depending on the game, you know, it could scratch your itch so well that it's like, oh, it doesn't matter if it's not out yet. I wish you could revive the liquid metal slime, so that'd be fun. As long as the dev is regular on the status, I think weekly updates is always a very like good thing, even if it's like, hey, all I did is I worked on this. I think the fact that the dev is like constantly saying stuff they worked on should always be great. So if you check somewhere around here, there you go, some stairs here. Worked on the past few years on UFO 50. Oh, I've heard of UFO 50. Hold on. What a weird, oh boy, everyone loves this mechanic. So I assume it drops down even more, and that's why... Yeah, it drops down even more, and that's why we've got the other stairs. For me, there's one criterion. Is the game already... Yeah, exactly. And so, that's what I want to hope for. The fact that I'm making, like, a driving game, a Gran Turismo structured game, basically. That's my secret, by the way. It's a Gran Turismo structured game. With Forza Motorsport being kind of and also dead, thanks Microsoft. I thought it's like, hey, you know what? We need like an indie attempt at this. Even if we can't license real cars, you know what? We just need to get the spirit in there. It'll be great. So, they just created a new company with a friend and they're making a game. So the game they're working on is supposed to finance Catacomb Kids. It's not Mario Kart World. We're keeping it very, very lean. Very it's Gran Turismo. And we'll go with that. So that's why I'm talking about like car forces and all this stuff. Because the easy, like if you're making Mario Kart, you literally stick with the default. You know, like I guess. Oh boy, which way was this? Up is yeah, okay. That. It's the same thing. It's the light part points towards up. There you go. We've still got these Grand Titans chilling around as well, which is going to be a bit iffy, but that's okay. The goal is to make it sort of there. There's a few flaws to this dungeon, and we need to pick up some items along the way, which is sort of why I'm taking a crack here as opposed to fighting outside with the liquid metal slimes. The famed emergent gameplay. The best idle games are the ones with the emergent gameplay. But that's sort of what I want with the oh, really picking on rags there. There you go. No more rags. There we go. Read all the comments. Yeah, I read it, yeah. Oh, I read it. Oh, these goopies are going at it. They don't deal too much damage anymore, but they are just everywhere. It's kind of annoying. Yeah. I really hope that, I guess companies, yeah. Big companies... I mean, even then, like, I just said, like, oh, indie games, I don't get why they take so long to make, but... Yeah, so now that you've got the manager... I'm backtracking, I'm like, what was I talking about? So now that you've got, like, a manager level, it could still be, like, you know, they're still working on stuff, but it is very easy. To mention, CK was a Kickstarter game. Crusader Kings? Catacomb Kids. Different CK. There we go. Whoop. We're not in the clear just yet. Oh, I gotta deal with these guys. Oh, I'm running from these ones. No! Because they're just gonna cast breaths every, like, turn. That's not fun. I'm not prepped for that. Oh, Blaze Mose? That's... Yeah, like, ugh. Ugh. I don't have everyone with, like, breath reduction armor. Oh, this is actually gonna, like, wipe people out. Main character's gonna be fine, but... There you go. No one died yet. I'll start using heal all a bit more. It doesn't take too much more magic than a heal more, but it does the job quite nicely. There we go, down some stairs, and we continue on the adventure. I'm pretty sure... Whoop. Nah, I'm not dealing with these. I'm not dealing with these guys. Any other enemy, but not these skeleton dudes. Because they've got a fair bit of health as well, which... Like, they're actually gonna, like, take me out with, like, you know, these Blaze Mose... Well, I know that's the other guy, but still. Ah! So now, imagine... So I'm like, okay, so you got your level of devs and artists, and then you've got managers on top of that. Now imagine an extra layer. Starting to get a bit, you know, kind of chaotic, right? You got a lot of people going on now. These big tech companies most likely have 6 or 7 layers of managers. They have managers, so like there'll be teams, the teams have managers. Look at this, two-edged sword. So, no point in having that. Oh, check this guy out, the Balrog. Like, yeah, you'll have teams, the teams have managers. The managers then manage things within a, I guess, like an organization. The organization is within a department, and the orgs will maybe interact across the department, and then the department might be part of one broader initiative, and maybe there's multiple initiatives that are managed by one guy who then is part of the engineering organization or something like that, and that engineering organization, or like all engineering, and it's like, oh, well, he might refer to, like, various chief officers, and those chief officers are underneath, like, some other guy, and the other guy might be underneath the actual, like, owner of the company at that point. And it's like, oh my goodness, like, the chief technical officer might be driven by, you know, like, he's got a goal of getting this thing out. And then the developer at the other end sees, like, this one feature and is wondering what's happening there. Well, yeah, it is a lot of bloat. Is it necessary? I don't know if it's necessary. It's like there's a lot of layers. If you do it right, if the communication's right, and all the employees are doing what they should, I think it works fine. But I think there's more room for error, and a lot of these companies don't actually realize how to do it. And I think the only, like, you know, I guess it's like, you know, maybe it's rich coming from me, because I've never driven it, I've only been part of it. But there's always a huge problem when the communications break down, and employees lose their purpose, and you end up getting a product that is kind of diluted, it's watered down. Nintendo doesn't do it as bad, though. Nintendo is very, like, you look at the credits on those games, they are still decently lean. They are starting to take longer, but they are still decently lean. Nintendo have it, you know, mastered to an art of doing what everyone did 7 years ago, but slightly better. Which is, arguably, maybe, if you don't want to chase that, that's fine, but, yeah, they're good at management? Yeah. I definitely say that they're up there, yeah. Okay, we need to take out these archmages quick. The sword dudes are going to be a bit of a pain with the double attacking. But yeah, so I worry that, and you know, I always single out Ubisoft. 7 years ago they were developing Concord, yeah. I always single out Ubisoft as a, you know, kind of like a big poster child company of doing everything sort of, how do we put it? They're scaling the wrong way. What is this? Not hitting anything kind of thing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely no one was being hit there. Dreadful. Ugh. Can't add oi to the end and call it a new enemy. But yeah, I do think that Ubisoft is not a very healthy company when, you know, based on how they scale. They seem to be taking projects and then dragging them on for ages amount of time, and then they expect it to return a profit after they took ages to release Skull and Bones or something like that. EA is very much about to experience that. There's the reports of Battlefield 6 coming out or coming out soon, and probably costing $400 million to make, and they are expecting 100 million sales. And I'm like, when are you going to get 100 million sales? I think the best-selling Battlefield game has sold 30 million. I'd really like these Archmages to die at the same time. It's getting kind of annoying to have them come back. Oh, that helps, probably. There you go. People recently claimed on Ubisoft for... Oh, Dude, I haven't recently been ripping on Ubisoft for that. I've been ripping on them for ages about that. Because that was pointed out when they shut down the crew. And it was just like, what is this, like, weird clause that basically, like, you know, goes, oh, okay, like, your copies are forfeit. Like, get rid of all your copies. Which is, it's an absolute clown kind of statement. Yeah, Battlefield 6 is the one that needs 100 million sales, and the best-selling Battlefield, which I think is Battlefield 1, might be. Now, also, Battlefield, and this is another thing as well, Battlefield, all of them, including 2042, I think. Oh, yeah, I think Battlefield 1. I think Battlefield 1 is the best-selling one. All the Battlefield games are currently 95% off on Steam right now, and not to say you shouldn't get them, but why? Like, what is the you know, desire to get a Battlefield game? I guess, you know, some of them got single player, sure, but it's just like, I don't know, man, I only need to stick with one. Whether it be Battlefield 1, or whether it be Battlefield 4, really, 4 is really popular as well. Or whether it be Call of Duty Black Ops 3 with its exploit that allows you to arbitrarily run PowerShell scripts on other people's computers. That's fun. Well, first of all, Bad Company 2 is not on Steam, and Bad Company 2's multiplayer needs to be kind of manually gutted. There's a way to work with it, but yeah, it's not yeah, it's not in-game anymore. Yeah, I'm so, like, burnt out. I'm like, yeah. It's, ironically as well, I saw a thing, yeah, good job, Activision. The fact that, like, there's a vulnerability there is just, like, an absolute, like, how? Why? Why can the game just invoke system calls like that? There's bound to be a few reasons, and I don't think it's their attempt at anti-piracy that actually would have caused that. I think it is just something else, but yeah, no need to get, because the only one to care. Exactly. And Battlefield 2, which I don't understand why they don't sell the games anymore. They could just say they're in, like, a no support stage, so, like, mileage may vary on how much you get. Lemon recently went to a convention in Adelaide. Ooh! Gosh, yeah, these guys are very mean. Tried out a game that's basically an indie COD Zombies. Very nice. Very nice. There's the, it's not COD Zombies, but, like, I remember, playing, like, a Zombies mode in, some Doom mod. And it's just like, yeah, there's a lot of nice Zombies knockoffs, so that's all good. Yeah, like, these games are not supported particularly well after release, and the fact that, like, they are, you know, their budget has gone through the roof, and they're expecting so many sales out of this new game, it's like, this is a recipe for disaster. They might as well finish it, you know what I mean? Like, there is no reason... I mean, if you're going to release it very, very soon, like within the next few months, and they usually announce and release pretty quick for Battlefield, if you're going to do that, you should just go for it, because you will get return by this point. You will get the return on the remaining amount of money that you're going to spend, definitely. Battlefield is always a decently selling game. But you are, like, I don't know how on earth they thought it was a good idea to drive a project that hard, to the point of, like, you know, there's no more money, man. The money's gone. So now we're on this floor, and I think this floor might kick my butt. Maybe. I don't know. Salamander. But this is the floor I need to get to. So as long as we can live on this floor, then we're good. Wish for some movements. Push for companies. That would be cool. Yeah, that would be a good movement. So I have an update on that. So first of all, when I spoke about it last week, the state of the I guess the EU petition was... Is it a petition? What's the... It's an initiative. It's not exactly a petition. Like, there's no direct change happening because of this, but the campaign, yeah. It had, like, in the high 500,000s for the signatures, and it needs 1 million. Since then, and let me actually double check. Let's get a live count. But since then, not only did it surpass the goal, magically, I know, it is at 1,225,599 signatures. It is well surpassing the original 1 million, or, you know, the 1 million that you need, which is really good for them. And also, yes, so, yeah, like, the fact that, like, not only was it, you know, just suddenly it shot up so far. Oh, check this out. A man is fighting monsters alone. Whoosh. Ortega is glaring at King Hydra. He attacked. Nice dodge. He's doing some good damage. Ah, the fire attack is always the worst. Don't worry, he's got heal all. He's good. And Zap's always a good one as well. Ah, he... Not enough MP! Oh no! Oh no! What? Is someone there? I can no longer see nor hear. If there is someone there, convey a message for me. I am Ortega of Aliahan. I have remembered now. If you were to visit Aliahan, find Biendeo who lives there, and pass this on from Ortega. I failed to bring peace. Forgive me, your wretched father. He was missing for how long, and he only just now... only now he cops it. I tell ya. I know, so... I think the damage mouse is pretty sad. It's like a little cutscene. So, alas, he has gone skis. There's a bunch of doors here, but I think the key one that I want to reach is this big one right here. A bit like an... Yeah, exactly. Everything falls apart when Lara shows up. So, yeah, you are 100% right. If any signatures are found to be fake on this initiative, then they'll just be discounted. Ideally, you know, like, I hope that there are so many more signatures that all the fake ones don't matter. But yeah, is 50% more? I feel just anyone. I don't think there should really be a number on how many signatures should be on it. I think people, even up until the date, should still be encouraging others. If you are in the EU, you should read through the Stop Killing Games initiative, and if you do agree with its premise and its intentions, go for it, give it a signature. Keep doing that and keep telling people about it until the... Okay. And the UK one as well, which the UK one ends... I'm not too sure if it ends before the next room. I don't think it does. I think it's just after it. Look at this Balrog medal. So check out all these chests. The life stone is not actually... Hold on. It's not the life stone. That's not the one. Life stone. Ah, yes, yeah. So the life stone is an insta-death protection. I should probably not be holding onto it as well, just because we want to save it for a very special moment. But yeah, if you're holding onto it and you die from an insta-death spell, so like defeat, you are protected from it, and then it breaks. The World Leaf, July 15th, so just after next week's stream. The World Leaf, we can actually get another one of those, but that's a free revive, or a revive item. The Sage Rock is the greatest item in the game. In fact, it's the greatest item in any Dragon Quest game. The Sage Rock, and it's got lifetime use as well. If you use this, it casts Heal Us. So, a fairly decent heal for everyone. Infinitely usable. Now, you only get one of those. That's the downside. It's the only... And there's a Mimic here, of course. What were the other items I saw? I've got a list here. Hold on. The Wizard's Ring is also... That's a classic. That's the, that's the one which, yeah, it will recover MP, but it will break eventually. And we've gotten a few of those, but I'm pretty sure you can buy them as well. You can buy life stones, I think, somewhere as well. So yeah, so whoever gets it can heal it forever. Yes. You should sign the UK. Their king is your king. I wish that was kind of how that worked, but yeah. If I don't know if I have to be a resident in the UK in order to make that work. I'd probably say I don't know. I don't think I exactly count. So. But yeah, other than that, that is the dungeon, because we're basically there. We've had the cutscene. I'm actually kind of surprised that, like, maybe I did run away from too many fights, but now it's like, oh, you go into battle and you go, oh, okay, you know, we need to take out these archmages, and instead of, like, you know, healing, it's like, oh, just start using the Sage Rock. There you go, easy. If you put it on a real fast character as well, you can always guarantee. They used the sprite somewhere else. Maybe that's what happened. There you go, big hits. But yeah, having a character be able to cast Heal Us effectively every single turn is such a godsend. And it's not the, you know, like, you're not gonna be invincible with only this. You'll still need to probably heal extra. But the fact that it's like, oh, it's just some easy flat healing all the time. Then you probably could notice it on a real Game Boy Color. You probably could. Because the resolution isn't that deep. It's 160 by 144, and that screen is still a decent size. You will pick that up, so... But yeah, so the initiative has gotten a lot of signatures. It's gotten a lot of traction, and my gut feeling is that we have certainly got a boogeyman in Pirate Software, but also I think the fact that this is resonating with a lot of people now. It's really like we've got kind of the counter opinions are ironically probably giving much more traction than just if companies were, you know, silent and it was just like, oh, you know, we should sign this petition, and absolutely no one objects, and it's like, oh, okay, people get complacent and not signing it. But if you see someone and they're like, oh, this stupid Reddit tier petition or whatever, it's like, I think it is the right thing to do to, well, one, because it is a very pro-consumer thing. A European... Yes! So I was going to read this out right now, actually. I've got this open. Yeah. I actually did a Fetty post about this as well. So I've got some points from there. But yeah, so Video Games Europe is a non-profit, or a lobby? I'm not too sure actually what's the difference, but they have various people... let me actually see if Video Games Europe... Because I've got a screenshot. Oh. We'll just type Video Games Europe, and we'll probably get the page. But yeah, they've got a board. Board members. Here we go. Okay, if anyone's DDoSing the page, don't don't DDoS it. They've got a board. They've got a bunch of individuals with names and companies that they represent. And I will name drop the companies, although if people know the people as well, give this page a look. The chair is someone from Warner Brothers Games. There's a person from Epic Games, Electronic Arts, Activision, Embracer, Microsoft, Nintendo of Europe, Sony Interactive Entertainment, Take-Two, Ubisoft, Bandai Namco Entertainment, Square Enix, Level Infinite, Game, Cell, VGFB, and Yuki. Yuki being UKIE, which is most likely another advocacy group. But certainly there's a lot of big companies in there, and there's someone who represents a lot of these companies. They have recently posted, as of the 4th of July, so a statement on Stop Killing Games. And before I read this, I just want to say that this is the sign that this is working. The whole point of this initiative is hopefully to get some change for the better. But getting some very official voices to say stuff, to acknowledge what's happening, is certainly the sign that what is being done is in the right direction. Because we want to have conversations, and I want to be able to talk to game devs about this and go like, hey, this is what I as a consumer really, really want. I want to have all this stuff because I really want to enjoy your games for generations to come. And if you make games that are so disposable, I'm going to proceed to ignore your disposable games when you try to sell them. That's my problem there. And I guess, either, we wait until the market, fixes itself and people realize this enough. I think there's unfortunately a lot of, one, FOMO, and two, there's a lot of, conditioning. People have been conditioned, and you'll see, and I will also say the Twitter thing. There are people out there, I'm not too sure if they're just being devil's advocate or whether they truly believe this, but there's people out there who go, oh, tons of games just get shut off, Do you expect game devs to support the games forever? And I'm like, no, I expect games to be like Quake 3. Games used to always be one and done affairs. I don't know when... also, by the way, this is the bottom of the dungeon. This is it. The final boss is up there, so I'm gonna proceed to teleport out. We'll play it safe, and we'll well, can I not teleport from that floor? I can't teleport from that floor. How interesting. But yeah, let's return to Rimulda. We should also devise a plan for items, but we've got a Rimulda so we can get some levels and stuff. Also, I for reference as well, it's always nighttime here. You must be tired at such an hour. It still charges up the wazoo, but yeah. But when has the market ever fixed itself? Yeah, when it died, the market has fixed itself in the past. Obviously, the Atari 2600 shovelware of its time. Yeah, that's when the market fixed itself. It's real crummy when the market fixes itself. It gets there in the end, but you get this real crummy time period, and you get things where things sort of centralize on certain figures or certain items, and it's oh, okay, Atari honestly shouldn't have bared the grunt of so much shovelware on their platform, but unfortunately that's how the market responded to all the fact that there's so much shovelware on the Atari 2600, or the VCS as it was at the time. The big problem with market fixing means big upheavals and the bigger ones keep standing. Well, that is a big problem. I really hope that indie games and indie companies, not broadly indie companies, but just I really hope that big companies that do engage in these bad practices do cop a lot and then have to change in response, and the small companies that do not participate in kind of live service schlop, they don't get affected. And every time I see the Pirate Software say this won't affect big companies, this only affects the small ones, the games that people actually like, it's I don't know, there's a lot of small companies that are doing some real scummy stuff as well. Not to say all of them, or really I shouldn't even say most of them, but you could definitely point to a solid number of them and go, hey, why are you making this, like, MMO? And it's like, you do not have the capability to support that, and you're just, like, going for it. And you're going to convince a lot of people to get your game, and you're just going to run away with it, which is a bit of a shame. Market really only, yeah. It needs to crash. I've sort of been saying this for a while. I think it does need to crash. I don't really want it to crash. I want people to realize what's going on there, and I want the companies to sort of respond immediately. I'm curious about Ubisoft, because Ubisoft have already been selling off big assets. Regulation should... Yeah, in this stream, acceleration isn't... Honestly, I am very much an accelerationist kind of guy. Like, I do feel like, you know, pull the band-aid. Get stuff... Market alone... Yeah, markets... I do believe markets do not work on their own, because the whole point is that government is a non-business... Because government is not incentivized through business, it's incentivized through collective opinion, hopefully. Hopefully. And generally, like, you know, wise people, I guess. Hopefully. That's how this all works. The populace votes by, you know, decides things... Well, the populace is the people. So the populace inevitably should be the ones who benefit the most from things. But obviously, without business, you do not get research, you do not get, like, big development, really. Stuff doesn't really happen. And so that's always a big problem there. Without government, you effectively have businesses tyrannically doing stuff against the people. Now, that's not to say governments can't also be tyrannical. 100% that can also happen. And not to say as well that... what's it? The tyranny of the majority, is that a phrase? Sometimes 50% or more are stupid, are idiots. Sometimes that's the case. We need to strike a fine balance between all of them and realize how do we go about. We can't blindly... The tyranny of the minority. Oh, maybe, yeah. There's a bit of all of it. It's like, it's not the idea... Like, obviously, the best ideas should be the ones that go forward. What are the best ideas? It's not necessarily the majority stuff. It's not necessarily stuff that benefits companies directly. It's not necessarily stuff that benefits the government. It's stuff that benefits everyone. And unfortunately, it's very easy to, you know, like, for people... Well, obviously, it's always a balance. I think it's very hard to find things that are, like, truly altruistic for every single person involved. It's really hard to, like, have stuff like that. But the idea is that if we can maintain some kind of balance where everyone's getting dragged up by, you know, by stuff. So, I guess the AI question is a big one. It's like, AI is an extremely expensive venture for so many companies, and I do worry about the long term. But I do think there is some cool stuff that is coming out, and I do think as well that government has the capability to step in and really control for this. And if they're not, then, ooh, what's happening in there? There's gotta be somewhere in there. The wild wasteland of the AI world right now is certainly a very curious time, but I'm not too sure if it's an excellent time. I don't know, we'll see. About how the market for games has shifted and has no intention. Yeah, like, these game companies, how would I put it, like, insidiously, I haven't even read this statement yet, but these game companies insidiously benefit from making games disposable. It does mean that they have to continually put work in releasing new games, but, like, haven't, like, I don't get it. I don't get why residual sales, because especially, have you seen, I mentioned Sega's, like, earnings report. I was like, they've been earning so much money from, like, Persona 5. You know, a game that came out for the PlayStation 3. It was so late PlayStation 3. I think the PS4 was already out at the time. But the point still stands. It's an old game, and it continues to sell millions every year. That's a lot of money. That's one thing I'm looking forward to with my game. If somehow the residual sales are great, ooh, that'll be great. I can actually retire at a young age. It's very optimistic, I don't know. We'll see. A friend of mine started playing Hollow Knight and asked them if they also had the DLC, and they were like, DLC? Turns out the DLC I know the game has all been free. That is interesting. There are some games... I remember Shovel Knight later sold the DLC separately, because they were like, hey, we spent a lot of effort on this, and we know that we promised the game in Kickstarter time that there'd be some free content. And we made so much free content that we actually would like to make some more money off of it. I respect the opinion of that one, and I also respect that they made existing consumers whole. A price increase is like, yeah. But yeah, like, I mean, I'm of the opinion that, like, there are so many games out there that didn't have paid DLC but had extra content. Like, I've been replaying Unreal Tournament, the original, you know, like, and Unreal Tournament is literally like, yeah, you know, we've got map packs, we've got all this other stuff just bundled in nowadays. It's all free, and arguably as well, I think Epic Games has signed off the fact that their games are on archive.org, and they don't care right now. Seriously as well, if you look for those, it's there. And there's a site, I think it's called Classic UT, and they literally go, yeah, we can't host the games ourselves, but it seems Epic is fine with it, so I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. So, give them a go. Unreal Tournament is amazing. But I bought Shovel Knight. I've never backed a Kickstarter, but I bought Shovel Knight fairly early on, and I got all those DLCs for free, so there's something tangentially related to Shovel Knight that is an early access failure. But yeah, like, I feel like DLCs should always, you know, I'm very, like, classically trained in the sense that it should be an expansion. It should be, like, a solid chunk of new content, and drip-fed microtransactions and DLCs really get to me. I'm like, oh, I don't really like what's going on there. That's a bit if. But it happens all the time now, and it's dreadful. It's absolutely dreadful. I played through, you know, Borderlands, the pre-sequel recently, and that, like, sort of has some drip-fed DLC, and surprisingly, only one actual content piece of DLC, really. And it's, like, so, like, ridiculous, the DLC model in that game, because it doesn't need to, you don't need a season pass, it just needs to be, like, one release. That's just it, you know? And instead, what they ended up doing is that they had an extra, like, battle arena, just, you know, take out of the game, put it as a DLC, pre-order bonus. Extra classes, just throw them in, DLC. Skins, DLC, paid for all this stuff. It's like, oh my goodness, like, what's happening here? I get so exhausted from that kind of stuff. But yeah, like, this is what I mean, but I think there's practices that have effectively become normalized over time, and I think a lot of people... Oh yeah, there's tons with the bait and switch, and there's tons banking on... I think Fallout 4 is the classic that I know of, where they increased the price of the Season Pass because they put in so much effort and they wanted to charge nearly the price of the full Season Pass for just one of the DLCs. And so they changed the price of the Season Pass later on, and I think, like, you know, hey, you know, no one is done wrong by the fact that they paid less earlier and got the content. But my problem is that you do not know the worth of the Season Pass before you buy it. I am at least glad I think a lot of the games that do Season Passes do guarantee the content. Like, I think if they dropped the amount of content they ever did for a Season Pass, they would have to definitely refund or make people whole in some way. When they increased the amount of content in the Season Pass, Fallout was nice in increasing the price, but also awarding everyone all the content anyways, if they already bought it. But other games... There's another heal us, by the way. Although, I wish I had two Sage Stones. Maybe that'd be better. But it's nice having the Sage Stone on the Cleric, because it's like, well, you're going to be healing every turn, basically, you know? But yeah, most games that add more content after one Season Pass just adds a second Season Pass and goes for it. Or you pull the Payday 2 strat, and that is you just get people to pay so much all the time. Every 3 months, buy this new Heist DLC. And then they somehow still ran out of money. How did this happen? So check out this spell. Heal us all. I'm never gonna use that, but hey, you know, it's there. Only game I could think up with second Season Pass is Borderlands. Assetto Corsa, what are some other ones as well? Dirt Rally almost had it. Dirt Rally 2 actually almost had it as well, because I kept advertising it as a year 1 pass. I think I had WRC as well for that one. A lot of sports games do it if they're not annual releases, because now it's like, oh, it's not an annual release, we just do that. Or yeah, it's a bit of a doozy. So anyway, let me read out this Video Games Europe statement. So, statement on Stop Killing Games. I will read the whole thing out first, just for full context. We appreciate the passion of our community. However, the decision to discontinue... I'm talking weird. However, the decision to discontinue online services is multifaceted, never taken lightly, and must be an option for companies when an online experience is no longer commercially viable. We understand that it can be disappointing for players, but, when it does happen, the industry ensures that players are given fair notice of the prospective changes in compliance with local consumer protection laws. Private servers are not always a viable alternative option for players, as the protections we put in place to secure players' data, remove illegal content, and combat unsafe community content would not exist, and would leave rights holders liable. In addition, many titles are designed from the ground up to be online only. In effect, these proposals would curtail developer choice by making these video games prohibitively expensive to create. We welcome the opportunity to discuss our position with policymakers and those who have led the European Citizens Initiative in the coming months. Now, I will shout out the things I appreciate here. So I appreciate the fact they've given a statement, and I appreciate the fact that they have said, hey, yeah, like, we welcome the opportunity to discuss our position and reach out to people driving the initiative as well. Now, I really wish I could be in these conversations, because, oh my gosh, man, I got a lot of thoughts. So I'm going to dump on this statement, because this statement has a bunch of stuff that is filled with half-truths and a bunch of complete utter crap. Like, I know it's a bit of a stretch, but, like, there are some real shocking, do you really represent the companies that you work for? Is this the hill you're gonna die on? Like, not the fact that they're opposing Stop Killing Games. They literally, like, said, we appreciate the passion, however. So obviously, the big sentiment is that they do not approve of what's happening here. So, when they say, the decision to discontinue online services is multifaceted, never taken lightly, and must be an option for companies when an online experience is no longer commercially viable. 100% they are right. I do think that it is a complex decision, and I do think that if you cannot afford to keep a live service game up, you should 100% have the ability to get out of supporting that live service game. Supporting games infinitely is never going to be an option. I 100% get that. Like, that's the case. But obviously, that is not what people are up in arms about. That's not what the initiative's about. So, that's what I mean by misdirection, mistruth right there. Is if you pay too much attention to that, you know, oh no, you've missed the point. We understand that it can be disappointing for players. Okay, they're just admitting right now that it's like, oh, it's things for people. Again, personally, I bought the crew 6 months before it turned off, 3 months before they announced they were turning it off. I think it was 3 months. Like, the reason why players are disappointed is because you market yourself as a single-player game with online elements, and suddenly, the single-player, the convention of, I can run a game, disappears from me. I do not get to own my game anymore. This is the problem. This is more than disappointing. This is flat out, I am upset, I am furious, and I have lost trust in you as a company. When they say the industry ensures that players are given fair notice, I'm like, well, okay, yeah, you give me fair notice, but, like, I don't seek notice. I seek being made whole. Telling me that the product I paid for shall be forcibly removed from my digital library is not, oh, whoopsie, oh, we told you we were gonna do this. I don't care if it's in your EULA. I didn't buy the game expecting this. And honestly as well, you have the rights, sorry, in your EULA, you state you can update the EULA, and that me as a user of a Ubisoft product, different companies are going to have different EULAs, so maybe different companies might not have this explicitly in there, but Ubisoft definitely do. They have the ability to update the EULA, and they expect all users to regularly and periodically check the EULA to make sure they agree to it, and then, as you said, I think, Fetty, earlier, if you don't agree to it, yeah, you have the right to delete all your copies of your games. I'm like, what? Excuse me? This is what I mean by, I don't want to do business with you, Ubisoft. I don't want to buy your games if that's how you treat me as a consumer. That's the absolute, dirty move. Is it illegal? No. I don't think, at least I sure hope that Ubisoft is not being so callous in that it's an illegal move. But I am fairly certain that if they, they've been doing this for a while, and I don't believe any, I wouldn't go so far out to say it's fraudulent in the sense of, I don't think it's, how would I put it? I don't think they've broken any laws. And this is what I mean by, there is a truth in there. The truth is that they are complying with local consumer protection laws. They are indeed saying that, yes, hopefully there are no laws being broken. Now, onto the real spicy stuff. I know, right? Private servers are not always a viable alternative option for players, as the protections we put in place to secure players' data, remove illegal content, and combat unsafe community content would not exist and would leave rights holders liable. So first of all, private servers are not always a viable alternative option for players. In general, that's a bit of a wrong statement. For specific games, I see where they're coming from. So for specifically The Crew, a game that relies on kind of free matchmaking in places and instancing, I get what they mean by a private server may not be always viable. Unfortunately, they didn't say it's from a gameplay standpoint or a functional standpoint, which is the one reason I think why anyone would accept a live service game to begin with. And this part frustrates me because I think this comes from a completely, out of touch statement. And I don't know who, because this is a statement by the org in general. So I cannot tell you which one person would have thought this, or which one person proofread this and went, oh, okay, that's what we put in. So cynically, I think, would we just consider all of them? Is some person from, actually on Tower Claim, is some person out here, thinking that, these are the reasons why live service games exist? And if so, I would now like to lambast you, because reason number one you say here is for the protections we put in place to secure players' data. Do you know what kind of data these games pull? Ubisoft sure do. 2K sure, or Take-Two surely do in their EULA. IP address, which granted, I think IP address always happens because it's you're a network connection. If you're spamming bot traffic or whatever, we're gonna get, you're gonna probably log IP addresses to combat bot traffic. I think that's naturally gonna happen. Geolocation data, that's overkill. Real name, age. For the most part, you don't need to hold on to that forever. Billing address, shipping address, credit card information, or at least anonymized credit card information. Hardware, other software on your computer, including running processes and installed programs, specific versions of programs and operating system stuff and all that stuff you have. Literally, how long you spend actively using your computer, let alone the game itself. All this stuff Just to play a car driving game? You've got to be kidding me with all these, like, companies saying, oh, we put in all these protections to secure players' data. You are absolutely out of touch if you think the game even needs any of that. Private servers only need to know my IP address. That's the only single thing they need to understand. This infuriates me so much, because it's like, this is overkill. When we were talking about, like, companies being wasteful, this is the kind of stuff that's really wasteful. And the only reason why they do this is... really, really cynically, the only reason why they do this is to gather advertising profiles. This is the only reason why you have all this information on me. And it frustrates me. It really, really, really frustrates me that we live in a world where that has to be normalized, apparently. That, like, oh, like, I have become the product. You make crazy amounts of money on the games. You are upping the price of games. You are charging all this stuff for DLC. And I am continuing to be the product because I am now an advertising profile point. I am all this stuff here. I'm going to read the chat, sorry. Deep Rock Galactic has more than one season pass. Deep Rock Galactic season passes aren't paid. So it does the in-game seasons for content, but you don't pay for a pass. Cosmetics are released as part of those seasons, though, and so that's where the revenue comes in. But yeah. And as well, yeah, all the rewards are cosmetic in the seasons as well, so... Inevitably, if you continue playing the game, you get that kind of stuff. I think they do have events though. I did remember playing when they had the kind of weird, like corruption rocks dropping in from the sky. I thought that was kind of cool. Or the sky, you know, like indoors. So, also saw this in response to the Ubisoft Eula. I thought was interesting. Ubisoft has completely lost all plots imaginable. Forcing people to destroy all copies of a product, legally bought copies. Wording is interesting though, so it is indeed a product, not just a license, and it is in our possession as we own it, not just temporary access. Well, yeah, I think the, like, if I was to do wording, I would most likely say, you own copies of games, you own copies of data, or particularly programs. Your copy should generally last forever because you bought your copy. I think that is the intention of that. Your access to a service is the part that should get revoked. And so the idea of destroying copies, I think, is an absolute, like, blunder of a statement. Because, like, what does that mean? What is destroying, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, destroying... Your copy of a game is your copy of a game. They don't have any right to tell you to destroy it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and this is like the catch-22. If we're really gonna have the dancing around the terminology and going, oh, players don't actually own their games, they only own like a license to the game. Yeah, it's very easy to find cases all over the place just like this where they stumble upon their own wording, because in order to say that you only have a license of the game, they have to continue to be, yeah, they're self-contradicting. EULAs, first of all, yeah, EULAs are not legally binding in any way, and most of the time, EULAs overreach. This statement where they're like, oh, you know, we try to comply with local laws, but honestly, there are so much stuff in end-user license agreements that are flat out illegal in various places, because that end-user license agreement is most likely global. First of all, they don't release end-user license agreements per country very often. A lot of them will have sections or say like, hey, this only applies if you're in this location or stuff like that. But yeah, like, you know, they are written so broadly in an attempt to grab as much as they can. And then the idea is if you break their end-user license agreement, then, you know, I guess what they're saying is that they're giving themselves as much room to revoke the license in any way they deem fit, which weirdly should be a lot shorter than what it is. It's a 17,000 word... 17,000? 7,000. I think it's only 7,000. But it's a 7,000 word EULA, the Ubisoft one. Shadow of the Disney Plus EULA. Oh, yeah. That one, yeah, like, what's the EULA... So, it comes from two angles, is that most likely they want to be able to revoke the license in a way that provokes you suing them. Because now you are having to play in their ballpark. There are, like, very, very, very rarely does... Oh, exactly, yeah. Very rarely does the company go after an individual misusing the product for, like, legally going after them. But most likely, they just revoke the license of the product because it's the easy thing that they can do, and they've given themselves as many opportunities as possible to do that for any reason they want to. It is then up to the individual tiny little user to somehow fight through that arbitration agreement that's part of the end-user license agreement as well. I don't know if that even counts. And somehow find a law that they then broke. Which, to me, I think the big problem, and this is the cynical part of me, the big problem is that games should very never be revocable. There is very little reason why you should be able to revoke access to a game. And the one reason why you revoke access to a game is because you sell it as a service. You sell it as a one-stop, hey, you now access our thing, and we can stop you from accessing our thing at any point in time. And then you can now say, oh, you know, you're hacking on our game. Well, let's just take away your game entirely, and that's it. We're done here. Your business is done. And it's like, you know, what it really should be is that you have a copy of the game, you can do whatever you want with it, and then server owners should be able to ban you from, you know, like, accessing the game. But, like, the whole point is that, like, you should be able to set up your own servers everywhere. Oh, they're expensive, I'm sorry. Expensive, retro chip. I mean, I've said this before, I do wish, and they've been doing better, because they've had stuff like set suggestions are now an actual feature on the website now, which is nice. But they had a bit of a problem where community support and community features were driven through Discord, and I do hate that, like, the service of Retro Achievement and, I guess, the community of it shouldn't be so strictly tied. But then again, it's also like, well, you know, you should be able to, if you're spamming the server, like if you are using it outside of their parameters, then you know, I think there should be some kind of negotiation going on. But yeah, no, I do wonder if they'll respond, I guess. But I don't know, I don't have any intention to, like, how to put it. I hope that they give you another chance in some way, and I do hope that whatever reasons you had, you know, you were, I guess, removed from that Discord for, doesn't come up again. I guess that's what I hope for, and I do hope that they don't block you out of enjoying the rest of Retro Achievements. You know what I mean? I don't even work there, I'm just, you know, it's all volunteer work. But, like, that's what I mean, but, like, it's all volunteer work. It's like, there's not that many people who are actually financially supported by Retro Achievements, or, even, I guess, the pedigree. I think there's some people, like, I think if you're a big community manager, you probably have a soft intention to, you know, get your voice out there and really, like, be a community champion. Oh. yeah, well, not... But this isn't, like, an I just work here, because it's, like, I don't have insight. Like, I literally... Like... I do think that there's not many people who actually are, you know, like, know quite the full explanation of what happened to you. I guess that's what I'm saying. So I don't know how, you know, how many people would have the I just work here mentality. I think a lot of people are... I don't know, man. I get the frustrations. I'm not sure if I have any insight to fight it. I hope it's not foul play. I do hope it's just literally like, you know, there's actual rules, and it was just like, hey, here's explicit parts that broke it. I do. We've gone through bits before. We've gone through some bits before, and to give very, very, very devil's advocate opinions. Like, there were things where I saw and I'm like, yeah, you know, like, I could imagine, you know, someone perceives this in a certain way. I want more discussion out of it. I don't like the idea of, oh, you get banned, oh, you haven't even been warned about it. It's just like, oh, okay, you get told off. It's like, hey, I want, like, you know, like, reach the heart of the matter. Can we warn people? Can we tell them to stop in certain ways or stuff like that? Because I mean, I don't know. Maybe they go through so many people. Yeah, I don't like the idea of being banned last week. That happened to me on the Clono stuff. I got a mute during some sleepy time, and in that time, then a lot of bad stuff happened to me. I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck, fellas? I don't think it's kind, but I don't know. I don't get too attached anymore. I guess because of that. If I get banned from the community, I'm like, oh, whatever, but I don't think there's any reason to ban me. I'm like, oh, okay. It happens. Yeah, I try to keep it real, because I'm not real. Pragmatic. Like, I hope for the best, but I also do, like, you know, there's more to internet communities than getting, like, too attached to them. Because it's weird. It always gets... never ends well. I don't know why. There's rarely any communities I know of where it's like, I'm never gonna be able to kill one of these liquid metal slimes. Oh yeah. These enemies give nice experience, and especially compared to having to fight liquid metal slimes before. Also, we're at 1 hour 42. I should probably do a money check, shouldn't I? So yeah. So anyway, reading the rest of the statement. Yeah, it's better to be with, like, your direct friends, and also to, like, not have a system, go crazy off topic, if that makes sense. Like, I think that, as much as, like, a part of me is like, oh, you know, communities fragment all the time, it's like, community should stick to a unifying mantra, I feel. Not sure why I'm using the full HP here, given I've got the stone, but, yeah, so we've got 36, 555. Let's have a teleport to Cole, and let's have a gander at their shop, because this might help us out a bit in figuring out what to buy. It's all good. But yeah, so back to the thing. So yeah, so when they're like private servers, secure players' data, and this legit, that point really rubs me the wrong way. Because ultimately, private servers should 100% collect or not even collect. They use the most minimal amount of data, ideally. I say this with a big ideally, to make their service do what it needs to do. Big companies seem to be some of the worst when it comes to data collection. I got a recent have I been pwned for, who's the big one? Qantas. Like, I know they're not a game company, but the fact that they are a big company does not make them immune to anything. There is no, like, oh, you know, we put on all these protections. You shouldn't be using this. So I think this is the best dress I can get, except there was one also, yeah, Colby, yeah. So hold on, if I go back to my inventory and go to, do we have anything? There's a, I don't think I did pick it up. There's a thing called was it a light dress? That's on this table. I'm curious where it is. But I don't think it's listed as being in the castle. I don't think it is. It's at the tracks. So we could potentially earn one, but I don't think I'll be able to actually get one. But that's okay. So the water dress is the next best thing for sages. So I will get this just so that Rags has better armor. The magic armor that I've got on can't be equipped by anyone else. Or sorry, it can't be equipped by a cleric. So I'm sort of caught out there. I guess the one catch is maybe do I turn my character into a sage and then I get like some other attacking spells, but also then I've still got the magic, I've still got like general mobility. Part of me is tossing this up as well. Not another water thingy. What else are we doing? So Silver Shield is, I mean, we're set there, so the Blade Armor also I don't need. The Sage's Staff, sort of ignore it. We're going to be using the Sage Stone for everything. Yeah, he really doesn't sell anything else that, like, I'd particularly use for armor, so... But yeah, I think, honestly, for clerics, looking at just, like, the list of other items available, honestly, the magic armor probably is the best armor, but it doesn't do anything about breaths. It reduces magic attacks, but not breaths, which is unfortunately going to catch me out. So here we go, magic armor. I could pass this. Well, Air's already got one, so yeah, that's my problem here. I don't think I have a breath reduction. So the light armor is breath reduction, and on Nyx, the blade armor is the reflection one. So it's not the best. Maybe I should get. It doesn't do breath, but I can get Dragon Mail. And perhaps Dragon Mail might be better. The blade armor has better defense though. So, I don't know. It's a bit of a toss-up there. Shields, I think we've done the math. Hero shield is the best shield in the game, hands down, but only the main character can have it. And then the silver shield is really good for everyone else. Yeah, I think I can buy Dragon Shields, which do not have as much... Yeah, I might go for that, actually. The Dragon Shield doesn't have as much defense, but it does reduce breath damage. And I think I might actually need that in order to survive. So we can get this back at Renilda. So we can go there. We can also get the... hold on, so if we go... Because there was... Here it is. Hi there. Did we even look at what this guy was selling? I don't think we did, actually. The Falcon Blade is an insanely neat weapon as well, because you get to attack twice. It has barely any strength, which is why it looks so weak. But given that your characters will probably have really high stats by now, it actually is okay. Yeah, the Evade Cloak. What is this? This is... gives you a 12.5% chance to avoid physical attacks. It's neat, but... Yeah, we could have gotten this ages ago. There's the Dragon Shield. Yeah, it looks weak, but it does indeed reduce breath damage. Not by as much as the armor, but I think this actually might be necessary for Nyx. I'm not too sure if Nyx is already holding on to one of these, but might as well have it. There's also an Ogre Shield, which is very high on the defense. But yeah, there's no... not sure if we'll get anything out of it. And then, what are we doing for helmets? Because yeah, that's a real fancy helmet. So, I've got the Ortega helmet on main character, which is basically necessary. You know, it's your main thing there. Nyx is currently got the Iron Mask. There's not really anything we can do for helmets. Really, it's just kind of get the best one for the class. I think the Great Helmet is 100% necessary because it is the best helmet in the game. In fact, actually, yeah, it's the Iron Mask is main character and warriors, and yeah, this Great Helmet also that. There also exists a Mithril Helmet, and I might actually buy 2 of those for other characters. The problem is that you saw the price on that, man. 35,000, jeez. So we're gonna need to keep doing some fighting. We're gonna need to keep finding some goldmen for a bit. But that's the plan. We'll get some weapons and stuff, and We'll have a crack at this. I don't think I've really got anything else for weapons. Oh, this would be nice if I get this fight. Okay. So, anyway, so back to the thing. The other thing they said, removing illegal content and combating unsafe community content would not exist and would leave rights holders liable. So, removing illegal content, to that I go, well, I don't think it's on the onus of a server maintainer. It's not the onus of the game devs explicitly to be the ones to remove illegal content. And same thing with combating unsafe community content. It doesn't have to be the game devs. There's no one at id Games right now who's gone, oh snap, people are swearing in Quake 3. We need to stop it. Oh snap, people have made a map based on the Daytona 500 trademark. We can't have that. Rights holders are liable. No, that statement came out of nowhere. That doesn't mean anything. I guess it means that if you're the ones hosting the server, but this is a self-perpetuated problem. If you make yourselves the only server maintainers, then you force yourselves to be the only people to remove illegal content. This is the problem with big centralized data like this. You know what's a game that no one has any problems with? Copywritten trademarks and all this stuff? Trackmania. Or maybe new ones, actually. Yeah, actually, I have no idea about the new one. But at least with older Trackmania. Because people just drove it as a community service. Here is, you know, Mania Exchange. We share maps. Maps might have links to textures and stuff like that. That are all, you know, not exactly owned by the creators of the map themselves. They hope people will believe... Well, exactly. This whole statement is a bit of a threat. It's certainly like a, oh, and I know it's like a threat. It's like they're not threatening anyone, but rather it's like they're saying, oh, this is a complex issue, you know, we welcome the opportunity, but trust us, we know what we're talking about. And I'm pointing this out. I'm like, you got, like, not that you've got no clue what you're talking about, because there are some things in there that I'm like, they are fair to bring up, but they are not. Also, check out these bomb crags. Like, some of those points are not relevant. They're not accurate. They're also, like, they're self-incriminating. The part on securing player data is the most self-incriminating thing. The spreading of misinformation, misinformation, disinformation. It's like intentionally saying things to direct people away from the actual topic. It's a wrap. It's a stone, Luigi. You didn't make it. So then they say, in addition, and this is the last part basically, in addition, many titles are designed from the ground up to be online only. In effect, these proposals would curtail developer choice by making these video games prohibitively expensive to create. Now, wording right here. Designed from the ground up to be online only. Again, you know what's a game that's online own? Well, almost. Quake 3. Quake 3's enjoyment is very I didn't even mention Unreal Tournament. Hold on, yeah, Unreal Tournament. The enjoyment of both of those games is very limited by the bot support. And honestly, do you know how easy it is these days to create, like, I was gonna say language models, but like literal reinforcement learning, machine learned models to simulate just the presence of humans? You have the technology right there to bot support so many of your humans that you desperately need in order to make your online-only game. So, if it wasn't for that, then there are tons of games that rely on multiplayer, multiple computer connections, I think is the key point here. Online only, for the sake of a piece of software, is it connects to at least one other computer. This could be, and in some cases has been, peer-to-peer matchmaking. It literally is a centralized server that then points you towards other people who then proceed to host the game. Or rather host, you know, peer-to-peer. Maybe you're all syncing packets with each other as well, and you're all maintaining your own states, and technically no one is a host. Although very likely someone is a host. You ever played Payday 2? That's a classic example of that. And at some point, maybe Payday 2 will turn off and the servers will stop. And it's like, how will I get into games with other people? And if someone goes, oh, it's an online-only game, I will tell them to, like, to remove the part of the brain that has that semblance. Because the way that game is architected, it's not architected to be online only in any way, shape, or form. It's architected with a hard dependency that cannot be substituted out. That's the problem. When they say they curtail developer choice, they curtail the ability to release game, or not even release, but to leave a game. You have such the capability to do this after you release the game. If you want to fix it up later, you have the opportunity to do that as well. It's only when you want to put down the game forever do you need to have this capability in place to substitute out the places where the game calls out to the internet. That's it. That's the only thing that is even demanded by this initiative. And it baffles me so much when it's like, oh, you know, the developers, think of the developers. This curtails their choice and makes them prohibitively expensive. That is a key wording right there. Not burdensome, or not like, just imagine whoever wrote that as a Bungie employee. There wasn't even a Bungie employee on that list. But, like, I mean, so was there even Ubisoft in this list? No. Oh, yeah, yes. No, there was. There was Ubisoft, okay. Sorry, Ubisoft, I forgot you were even here. But, like, yeah. It's, like, prohibitively expensive. It's like, is it really stops you from even, you know, making the game in the first place? No. As I said last week, it's like it is 100% skill issue. 100%. If you are a game studio or any software company in any way, and you tell yourself this cannot be done because, like, we do not trust users to run their own software, you are out of your mind. You are absolutely out of your mind. People, and in fact, these devs are most likely designing their games in a state where they have local mocked dependencies. Anytime I hear Pirate Software or any other person say, oh, you know, like, they're not just using regular databases, they're using AWS databases. Have you heard of a tool called LocalStack? It's a very enterprisey tool as well. You might be using it in your enterprise software. You might be using it as you create your software, such that you don't have to pay AWS tens of thousands of dollars every single time you want to make a program and you want to use AWS services to, you know, like, have a database for all this stuff. They're useful tools once you're in the cloud and you want to scale to ad infinitum. They're great for that kind of stuff. But the whole point is you don't need that as you develop the game. And when the games are taking years to develop, who is going to be paying for AWS budget as opposed to just, let's locally mock out all the AWS stuff and then we use the real AWS at the very last moment? That's hopefully, I don't want to say obviously, but that's hopefully what game devs are doing. The practice is there. The pattern is there. And if you are a game studio and you're not doing this, good job. I've now pointed out like hundreds of thousands of dollars you could be saving annually. You should just free advice right there. If you are using real AWS resources mid-development on a frequent basis, then your program is doing it wrong. Now, someone will say, oh, but for project timelines and budgets, for project timelines we don't have the time and we do have more budget. I go, okay, can I talk to your manager? Can I go up the chain? How many people do I have to go up before I convince your studio or your team or your department or whatever that there is no reason to run in real AWS until you are working with your real data? And for most video games, your real data doesn't exist until the game is live. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. So obviously this statement is not delivered, hopefully, by actual developers. This is very much a very corporate-y, oh, you know, like, these are the talking points. This is the easy stuff that we can combat against. We can say, oh, you know, like, you know, we're within our right to do this. You know, private servers are not always viable. And these are the big reasons, you know, it prohibits us from making games like this, and, you know, it's dangerous for data and all that stuff. Like, these are very big talking points. I think some managers really know this. Managers believe that, oh, you know, like, we have all this data and we have all this stuff, and it'll be a very complex issue to have to sort out. But, like, yeah, this misses, one, it misses the point, and two, it misses reality a bit. It irks me so much. But I want to say again, at the bottom where they say, we welcome the opportunity, this is a good statement. Sorry, it's not a good statement. The best statement would be, like, oh, you know, you guys are right, we're gonna change our attitude in the future, and we're gonna make games much more, you know, less reliant on singular online components, or we'll provide plans so that people can enjoy these games for decades to come. I would love for that to be the statement. But the fact that they've given a statement at all is a very, very good sign, because that shows that people have been listening to this initiative, and it's definitely going somewhere now. And I hope that it continues to increase in momentum, even as this, you know, it's hit the 2 million, or sorry, even if it's hit the 1 million, I hope it gets to 2 million. I really want there to be so many people who have signed this, and so many people who are vocal about this, and sort of just keep hammering on all these companies that they're not doing this. Now, not to say that all the companies who are represented on that board are exactly complicit in this. I think they're part of this organization, and honestly as well, like, isn't it weird? It's like, when we're talking about bureaucracy and stuff, and it's like, there is someone in all of these companies who is getting paid to tell people off online for having this opinion. You know what I mean? Like, this is a job or a position that, like, doesn't need to exist. People can be the judge of that later. But certainly it's like, there are a bunch of people, and they make a living making statements like this. I don't know. There's... It's not going to be an easy uphill battle, I guess. And it's certainly... Not to say... It's very easy for people to make the David and Goliath comparisons as if, like, consumers are, like, one person. It's very easy for one person to be one person, but, like, when it's millions of people, that's where the power of the people are. The fact that corporations will not do things if people don't buy it. And the easiest thing is to make a big stink about this whole topic such that people realize how much of a terrible deal they've been getting. And so that's why, like, this, you know, really, I'm decently passionate about this as I've been reading about this, and as I've been hearing what people have been saying and relating it to my own experiences. This kind of topic really gets to me, and I really hope as well that, not that people agree with me, I'm not seeking, like, validation, but rather that people resonate with it. People on the internet debate using similar leaps of logic. Oh yeah, and honestly, like, I've been in that before, like, I've done that before. I don't think there's a lot of people on the internet who would debate for the sake of debate, and it's like, I don't even, like, believe things or something. Yeah, leave the multi-billion-dollar company alone. I don't think it's, like... There are some things I've seen, like, obviously, when I see people say, oh, it's easy to, you know, like, it takes no time to give an end-of-service plan, and then it makes the game impossible to support from the end consumer standpoint. It's like, well, no, it's like, I do think it still takes time in the most tangled and coupled scenarios. It will take time to take an existing project that has been so tightly wound around its dependencies, to then untangle that and turn that into something that can be supported out of, you know, I guess out of their hands. In the worst case. In the best case, it actually is a really quick thing. And then for people reverse engineering it later on, I wouldn't exactly say it's impossible, although the Darkspore instance is one of the worst examples, because it's like, hi, here's a Diablo clone, except the client didn't actually have any knowledge on how any of the calculations drops, or really how any of the levels were structured. It had a lot of tools and resources to build it, depending on what the server told it the game was like. But it actually never really did any of that work, which feels very odd for a game of instance dungeons, you know what I mean? Like, why is it doing all this stuff? And so we run into this problem where to recreate Darkspore, you have to guess how the whole game worked, because it's not even there on your own local client. You have to debate not only the people who oppose your belief, but those who are for it, but say inaccurate things. Well, yeah, there's a lot of useful idiots. I think a lot of people who, you know, not to say defend the multi-billion-dollar companies, but rather that have the opinion that Stop Killing Games is, you know, not a good thing, to at least, like, you know, spur on as an initiative. Okay, who's taking more damage from the fire? I guess everyone. Yeah. As a German, we have a history of efficiency. Did you know that if you build big camps and concentrate cheap labor there, you can make Jordans cheaper? I bet you a lot of people will not get... yeah. An interesting quote there. But yeah, like there's a lot of... there's a lot of people who would be very willing to spread inaccuracies because they believe in a certain direction or cause, or they idolize a certain individual and then believe that their opinions are infallible. I really hope no one believes I'm infallible. I'm probably going to say wrong things from time to time, and there's bound to be, you know, I think it's very easy, especially for big content creators do it all the time, and I don't blame him for it. If I want to convince someone to get something done, it's very easy to exaggerate, to hyperbolize, sort of say things are the end of the world. Honestly, at the end of the day, is Stop Killing Games the end of the world? No, because if it doesn't pass, business as usual, status quo, industry probably collapses at some point because Battlefield 6 making 100 million sales is an impossible goal, and everyone knows it, and I really hope people don't just buy the game. Like, I hope the game is good, but I just hope that people don't buy the game for the sake of, like, floating a company up. It's like, it's difficult to find people on the internet who admit they're wrong when they're wrong. Oh, exactly, yeah. I follow, you know, like, Twitter is not the space for that. I hope the Fediverse is better. I think a lot of people I know of... Like, there's one guy, I replied to on the Fedi about this, literally about the Stop Killing Games, and he was like, yeah, like... He acknowledged he was so wrong about this because he thought it was, like, dead in the water last week. In the same way, I didn't... You know, I wouldn't have thought the momentum would have caught up. Sorry, not even last week. He said it on the 25th, so earlier than I did. I always try to admit I'm wrong when I point out. Yeah, exactly. Like humility and, you know, a bit of self-consciousness on that. It's like, yeah, like, the ultimate pursuit, I feel. The ultimate pursuit is that we're in it to go for the truth, to go for something that's better for everyone. Hopefully we don't have things that so wildly and disproportionately affect some people, you know, like, if it makes everyone's lives 10% better, but then it, like, literally kills, like, 10% of everyone else, it's like, well, the net gain is 0. But I'm like, yeah, but you know, like, that's not a great cost for individuals as well. It's like, we need to somehow have, that is the idea. Yeah, like, you know, there strikes a balance between, like, how much do you change for the better, how much do you change for the worse. Not to say, like, the bike cuck kind of reasoning where it's like, oh, someone stole my bike, but hopefully he's more happy about it than I am upset of losing the bike. You know what I mean? It's like there are principles and stuff like that. It's a more complex equation. But at the end of the day, people do have, you know, people will answer that equation for themselves. They go, oh, you know, no, you're not that con. That guy as well, he amazingly has the humility for it now. It took him a while. It took him a very long while to get there. He was like, oh, you know, like, whatever. I think, what's the one? I don't know if it's a copy pasta, and it's not actually this person, or whether he actually said it. But he was like, I went on a date and someone recognized him as the bike cut guy and asked for photos. And it's like, yeah, it's like, yeah, it is a bit embarrassing, but, like, wear it on your sleeve, you know? Like, it is a hilarious comic because it brings out, you know, like, an interesting facet in a lot of people. Because there are some people out there who legitimately did think And not to say that, you know, if you do truly believe it, hey, you know, I wish you well, you know. I don't mean you any harm or any foul if you do indeed believe that the world is a better place. If someone steals your property and you think they are, I guess, more excited about than you are sad about, you know what I mean? Like, you know, whatever, it's your worldview. But certainly, you can't tell me that that is a common worldview. That is very, very wild take. But yeah, like, that's what I want, you know, like, there's the idea of, you know, wishing people well, the whole, like, to each their own, you know, tend to your garden, that kind of stuff. That's a very Voltaire statement, isn't it? But, like, yeah, you know, each person has their own goals and motives. You know, the pursuit of everyone wants to be getting better. And obviously there are going to be things that, you know, affect others differently, and unfortunately some people are going to get the short straw on I guess, the collective's pursuits, if that makes sense. Like, I think that not every single person is going to get through. I hope that nothing unfair happens to those, and I do hope that the net gain is so wildly much better that, you know, I guess the what's the phrase? Oh, but that is Discord, I guess. Discord is filled with a lot of, how would I put it? If I had to classify it, not just Discord, but a lot of the internet, I think the easiest things I would group the internet into, like, particularly, I don't know, just range of social media accounts. First of all, bots. There are a lot of people who are not even people. 2, children, or at least people under the age of 18. And not to say that, you know, like, they should be immediately discarded, but that, and I say this knowing full well that my most popular video on YouTube was made when I was, like, 10. Yeah, kids say the darndest things. Kids probably don't have, you know, like, how would I put it? When people say their opinions aren't fully formed, as in, like, they might be right and they don't know, they might be wrong and they don't know, but they might be very, very confident in the idea that they don't actually know. And that it's a bit, how would I put it? It's a bit dangerous when they go very, very full on. I hope that if you are a younger person on the internet, you know, you use the internet as a learning experience. That was a disappointing fight, wasn't it? You use the internet as a very big learning experience to gauge how the world is, how people think, how people talk, and then if you want to participate, that's fine, but, like, you do need to acknowledge that, like, you're in the learning stages of figuring this out as well, so you need to be a bit flexible. Don't be so brash and, like, oh, you know, my way or the highway. Adults can, and certainly in various, like, you know, cases, probably can be just as bad. Like, I don't think adults are perfect. I hope that adults have gone through the experiences and that they don't fall into the same pitfalls that kids do. But, like, kids... Yeah, like, I think I see people... Yeah, kids are very easily swayed. I think that's the other risk as well, is that, like, kids are always changing their ideas all the time, and that makes, like, maybe long-term, like, caring about, or, like, you know, sharing ideas and discussions a bit tricky. There are things that I believed in, or I really enjoyed when I was younger, and it's like, oh, nowadays, not that I cringe or I don't, like, have those ideas, but it's like, I don't know, like, the classic one I always say is that I had in high school, we did a, yeah, Discord mods are usually adults as well, and also, people with, like, power trips or egos or stuff like that is always, like, a very tricky kind of boat. And then, yeah, like, trolls and stuff. Not to say that, like, trolls have a purpose, but you have to recognize when someone is, like, there to rile people up, and they're not, like, you shouldn't get into big debates with them. They're there for fun, and if you're not having fun with them, you don't need them around. And if you are having fun with them, then as long as, like, you know, don't take it too far, you know what I mean? But like there's a place for all these people, and then yeah, that's kind of like, then you just go from your subsects of like your different subcultures and your communities all over the place, and people are going to have very different ideas about, you know, what they think is acceptable and what they think isn't. I wonder what scenario you're talking about there. Yeah. But I had a really great high school, because a lot of people that, because I went to a high school that was like a follow-up from like a regular primary school. We call it primary in high school in Australia, from like years like kindergarten to year 6, and then it's 7 to 12. That's the 2 stages. The moment everyone hit high school, a lot of people realize that like you get nothing out of being a meanie. You get nothing out of being a bully there, and it's just like, I need to focus on like my studies because I really want to do well and top stuff, and actually like spend time doing things I enjoy instead of like making fun of people and stuff like that. I think people are naturally gonna, you know, they're gonna be harsh, they're gonna try and one-up over other people, and I've been in friend groups where sometimes that does end up being like, how would I put it? Like, it's very easy sometimes for friend groups or stuff like that to turn a bit sour. People start to like gang up on others or sort of get weary. I think people need time off. That's one. Like, sometimes people need to have the ability to step away. It's very easy to just like, I guess, make your whole, I guess, worldview and your whole personality around, you know, the idea of a community or something on the internet. And when I was younger, I did that. So that's why I say this from experience. Although don't trust me from experience, trust me from just like, hopefully it's the right thing. Yeah, bunch of people get in Discord communities. They find out they get a lot out of being bullies, especially with the stuff. They do a whole bunch of different stuff in the day. Yeah, and that's a healthy thing, I think. You know, everyone needs a hobby. Everyone needs to have a thing that they're working on. Everyone needs a purpose as well. Like, I really worry about, like, how would I put it? You know, like, work should give you purpose. Also, I didn't even catch a glimpse at Rags cops it just then. But yeah, everyone needs a purpose and a thing that they're really like pushing for. Also, that's the good revive. I just want to add as well. Expensive, 20, but hey, you know, why take a 50% chance to maybe revive them for some health when you can guarantee with 20 that they're on full health? It's a much better spell, and it's the one reason why you want to get your cleric up to this level at the very least. Once he gets kamikaze and stuff, he learns no more spells, but, you know, I can't help obsessing over... Well, I mean, a lot of people obsess, but at some point, like, there is... You know what I mean, like... You have your goal and your... I mean, I don't know, maybe this is a spicy opinion from me, but I hope that... because I think a lot of people do get diagnosed with OCD... And other things these days. Maybe it's because it was underdiagnosed before, maybe. But I really hope that a lot of people can work out of it in some way. And I know it's going to be tricky, but I hope there's a way. I really hope there's a way to get out of it. And not through medication. I don't want medication to be the answer. Open. Various goals. Yeah, if you're trying, you're getting there. And it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be... If it is really easy, then actually cool, sweet. But, you know, like, I don't expect getting out of OCD and getting out of habits to be easy. I've had bad habits of things, like, you know, in the past, and honestly, it's very easy to sink into lethargy and depression, and especially, I had periods where I was, like, unemployed, and I just was like, oh, you know, have I made the right decisions, like that kind of stuff. I have still got some life goals ahead of me. I still have things I really want to get into. But yeah, like, I mean, at the very least, if you've got a thing that you want to get to, and you know that, like, there are milestones or there are things that you can do that put you ever so slightly closer towards that goal that you can definitely achieve, then I think that puts you on the roadmap to having stuff to do, having purpose, having goals, that kind of stuff. So the more you're over, you know, you're getting through that, the better. And that's, I don't know, that I say to everything and everyone. I don't know. Biendeo's life advice. More at 7. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people who, you know, can lose their way, I guess. And so that's why there's a lot of different avenues I'm trying. Yeah, like I'm actually, I'm curious because there's a lot of people I know on the internet through various communities, and we never talk about like what we actually do. I feel like I ramble on so much, and you know the streams are all soliloquies, and it's like, well, you know, it sort of solidifies most of what I do. Someone's probably going to be like, oh, you know, you use your real name here, and then I can reverse, you know, all this stuff, and I can figure out exactly who you are. And I was like, yeah, someone did do that before. And then they proceeded to spend their time trying to get me fired, and I was like, you got anything better to do? You know what I mean? Like, I feel fine in the sense of, like, I mean, I was a bit worried because I was like, oh snap, like, this is my livelihood. But, I didn't feel bad in the sense of, like, I didn't have a purpose, you know what I mean? I have been grinding a bit. I've sort of, because I've been trying to make money. I did get the Great Helmet, but I also do want to get 2 Mithril Helmets, which I can get at, you can get that at... Oh, I've completely forgotten the name of the place. There's a place. We can buy these hats. And both the Cleric and the Sage can wield it, and it will definitely help with the physical defense. But they cost 18,000 each. I know I could be selling items, but I'm also like really hesitant knowing like what I should be selling these days. And I'm like, well, you know, enough gold men will probably do it, so... Yeah, you know... I even the people who have done me super wrong, I'm just like, hey, you know, like... Whatever, I hope they realize that they're doing the wrong thing and they get better. But, like, I don't know, like, you know, it's not my responsibility to, you know, fix them, you know what I mean? I've been through that, it's been hard, it's kind of burdensome. I'm like, hey, you know, like, I'll help out, I'll give some advice, maybe, if it's, like, someone who lets me, you know, if I know them, and it's like, hey, you know, they're asking for advice or whatever. But, like... Oh, exactly. And that's, like... I mean, that's where I go, like, you know, where in conversations, where does the idea stop and the person begin? Also, wow, that's some hefty crit hits, I tell ya. So as long as, like, people realize that, then, you know, it all works out. It's all fine at the end of the day, so... but yeah. Stop killing games. I gotta stop killing them. But yeah, keep the initiative up. that's going there, so... I'm gonna use Thunder on these. But yeah, so other than that, there's nothing really else I could do to prepare for this final boss. Like, I'm sort of giving myself all the equipment I can really get that makes sense. You know, giving yourself as much defense as possible, hopefully blocking breath damage as best as I can. And the Silver Shield does help. No, it doesn't, actually. The Dragon Shield helps. But, yeah, no one else can really do breath for shields. There's the Magic Shield, but, you know, you might as well just use the Silver Shield for the physical defense and call it a day. I don't know, maybe the Magic Shield might be okay after all, I don't know. We'll have to gauge. It'd be funny if you could throw a mint in the dragon's mouth. I remember, I think one of the Dragon Quests has like a actual like cheap strat on one of the like big bosses near the end. There's some out there that are like that, but yeah. I did mention I finished Xenosaga 2, but that was last week, so I've just been still playing Shining Force 2, and someone who, like, if you know how I've been playing that game, you would be yelling at me so much. You're like, your characters are level 32, just promote them now. And I'm like, yeah, maybe. But, like, tactics seems to be winning more than stats in most cases. I'm just kind of upset that, like, sometimes some of my characters get, like, 2-hit in that game. An enemy attacks and then it goes, oh, and now I can do a second attack. And it's like a full kill at that point. And it's just like, I can't do anything about that. They just went for it. There's a Genesis SRPG that was translated very recently called The Hybrid Front. Hybrid Front. I need a retro achievement set for that. This one's a big one. I don't usually talk about like claims and stuff, but I actually realized that hold on, I've got it on my I'm just trying to open it. These aggro cracks, I tell ya. On my achievement sets requested, Pingu's claimed both Guitar Hero Aerosmith and Guitar Hero Metallica. So I'm like, hey, someone's doing more Guitar Hero. I'm a happy chap. I was potentially gonna pick up Metallica, but like I'm not like so attached. So like I'm like, oh, only I can do it. It's like, anyone can do that set, so. TimeExtension.com. Yeah, that's a lot of really good, Genesis Mega Drive games that, like, I had never played. And I'm so glad I'm getting the opportunity to go through a lot of, especially that era. Because I never really got into, RPGs until, I guess... Not even the PS2 gen, it would have been like, yeah, on the DS I sort of played a bunch. I mean, that's late PS2 gen, I guess, but yeah, it's like, I'd missed so many. Waiting for someone to claim Getting Up Contents Under Pressure one day. Waiting for someone to claim Going Quackers on the GameCube, That's lost gem right there. But yeah, I've got 40 requested sets because I'm at that point. I got too many points. And the only other ones with claims, I've got Racing Lagoon, which Dr. V has a claim for. Rayman 2 Revolution. Yeah, exactly. Going Quackers is going to be the same set. It's just the meme of Going Quackers having a set on everything. Rayman 2 Revolution. 2 people have claimed that. Majin Wamu and Manako DE. I hope that gets a release soon, and I hope someone also goes back for the PS1 version of Rayman 2. And then the other one is Action Girls Racing on the PS2. Has a claim by Lil Cutie Sophia and Meat Bro. Good old Meat Bro. So every other game on my list, no claim. I got Unreal Tournament on the Dreamcast. I've got Mary-Kate and Ashley Magical Mystery Mall. What else? Daytona 2001 is the most shocking one. I'm surprised doesn't even have as many requests as it does. 0 games claimed in my list. It was a pretty empty list recently for me. Also, Rock Band 1, I think, is one of the most surprising ones that no one's picking up. Like, we've had that AC/DC live track pack for so long, and it doesn't have drum and vocal support. But, like, that set came out, what? Yeah, 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And yet, we still don't have a follow-up or anything. We don't have a follow-up to any other Rock Band. And it's not missing content. Soon. Maybe I should. So yeah. Also, shout out Rock Band 2. The one game, like, when we talk about our games that, like, I should have bought or something when I was younger, I bought a copy of Rock Band 1 on the Wii, and Rock Band 1 on the Wii doesn't work with Guitar Hero, like, identified devices, and it's so frustrating. Rock Band 2 does. Rock Band 2 never came out in Australia. Is such a shame. And then Rock Band 3, I think it did have a Wii release, Rock Band 3, but, Yeah, so someone in the comment is like, I would love it if they recreated the Bladder of Steel achievement, which is to beat the Endless Set List 2 without pausing or failing. That should be in the main set. That should be a proper, like, main set achievement. Multifaceted debate as to why a game has half of the game not covered. Oh yeah, that one 100% should count. And I will be keeping a tab on Guitar Hero Metallica because I do want that set to be as good as how would I put it? I mean, it's up to Pingo at the end of the day, you know, set dev overrules, but I do want that game to be as complete as it possibly can be. I guess if the shop is overkill, then yeah. I don't have enough for both, so I'm gonna dump all my cash in. We're gonna take a crack at the boss, and I'm gonna not be holding on to money. Cause you gotta see an attempt at this final boss, right? And we'll do a proper save just so I've got that chilling there. The GH Tune songs. Oh, exactly. No, they're not on the PS2 version. They're not on the PS2 version. It's fine. It's only World Tour had it, so I put in the effort on that one. When we get the Wii version at some point in, you know, whenever, then sure. Yeah. GH Tunes is not in the any other PS2 game. It's only in World Tour. Same with GH5. All the GH Tune songs don't exist in those games. It's all World Tour only. So when someone does the Wii version, then yes, you'll have to do all the GH Tune songs, as well as also all of its DLC. Can't leave a game unattended. No one claimed a SingStar game while I wasn't looking, right? Not to say they can claim SingStar without my permission, but rather, like, I have no idea if anyone's claimed anything. Okay, I'll have to double check that later. We hopefully coming soon. I don't know what the next system was. They announced another Game Jam, or Dev Jam. I was like, oh, okay. I thought they were doing a launch system soon, but no, we're doing Dev Jam. Okay. So, what was it? It was the MSX. Which has Dragon Quest available on it, so... They're always fun versions. But yeah. Oh, I hope someone also isn't just cataloging all the US versions. Oh, I was gonna say, I'm surprised that there's no, Also, by the way, getting through this, just to sort of allude to the side, getting through this place without needing to spend any magic because you're constantly spamming the Sage's Rock is the greatest thing in the world. Even though it is in the last dungeon of the game, but yeah, no, I was just saying that, like, I'm surprised that they aren't announcing the next, launch system on Retro Achievements yet. It's still, there's still another Dev Jam that's come up, so... Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I hope someone's not just registering hashes for all the US versions of SingStar, because we're gonna have to go through and mark them all as the US versions. I know it's decided, I don't know what it is. If it is DOS, I would like to be able to lock in Realms of the Haunting right now. But I don't know if it's DOS yet. I just know that, like, that's a long way, Wii's a long way, and, well, actually, I don't know if Wii is, like, fully there yet. I don't know if the hashing's there. I mean, the emulator support's basically there, so, that's okay. And then, what's the other one? What's the other one that's, like, surprisingly not supported yet? The regular Neo Geo? Probably regular Neo Geo. Yeah, 3DS is also a big one. 3DS is like, at the very least, you can say it's not that retro. Like, Wii is pushing it because you know, we're gonna get Just Dance 2020 with a retro achievement set very soon. If someone someone is gonna do that day one launch set. Oh, regular Neo Geo is under okay. Oh, okay. I didn't even realize that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I haven't played a Neo Geo game on the site. I've played Metal Slug on the PS1 all the time, so I never pay attention. Sorry. How long have I been on this site? Like 9 years? There you go. Yeah, I can't think of too many other systems. I'll probably say those are the big ones. And then Vita, probably, but you know, Vita emulation doesn't really exist. And Xbox emulation is like most of the way there, but I don't think it's there. Yeah, ZX Spectrum, Commodore 64. I'm not too sure what they've locked in. I wanted to say actually ZX Spectrum might actually be the one. We'll see. We'll see. I've not looked into the space recently. There was some fun tweets of someone entirely trying to pass off that like there's a Switch 2 emulator. And hilariously, I actually don't think it would be like that crazy a system to emulate. But obviously the hard part about it is like it's a console that just came out and people can't even figure out how to get like their own. Yeah, I was like I'm not too sure if they work very well under many situations. I feel like there's probably a lot of how to put it. This only works with my like access key or something. Back from the bathroom. We were talking about life morals, apparently. We were going into it. I like how these enemies do give a lot of money, though, so even if I die, I'll probably have enough money to do... You know, because reviving characters is like several hundred gold, but it's like, yeah, if I lose... You know, if I'm holding on to $3,000 and I lose half my money, you know, I'll probably still be able to afford reviving everyone, so... There are a bunch of 3DS cartridges at risk of dying. Oh, do they have button cells? And oh no, I hate that. Is it when you say they're at risk of dying? Is it like how old Game Boy cartridges had you know, like cell buttons in them, and the cell buttons obviously have a shelf life and they're gonna die at some point. And that button, sometimes there's actual flash storage on the cartridge, but most of the time it's a battery save, so it's basically a chip that's storing memory. It needs power all the time. It's about the memory. So as in the game itself will get wiped because they are storing it on non-volatile memory. No, it is volatile. Well, it's not. It is non-volatile, but like they're storing it in a, yeah. Well, that sucks. I hope people archive the heck out of this, and this is why, like, I am very, very big on format shifting, because the idea is that these cartridges and everything, people are probably going to find this about CDs really, really soon, by the way. The worst maintained CDs are getting too old. Like, they don't work. Old CD players don't really work very well anymore. Sega Saturns are certainly experiencing that right now. That's the reason why we need the ability to format shift anything, because also this is an encounter and a half, isn't it? Just Raw Dragon, Voodoo King. Unfortunately, Raw Dragon doesn't have a lot of health, so I like how it was like 10 minutes ago. I was like, yeah, you know, let's take a crack at the boss, and I've currently spent my time wandering to him without actually like getting into the castle yet. Once we're in the castle, I think it'll be a lot quicker. So either this will be a decently long stream. I'm not going to hit the 4-hour mark, but we might pass 3 hours if I have a really good run at this boss. We'll see. And then other than that, it'll be grinding stream and then a winning stream. I knew I was a bit off. I knew I was like, I'm not too sure if I've got my pasta here while I watch. Pasta. There you go. Get past these guys. Do I have any other... I didn't really have any other, like, big topics to talk about, but I did have, one game I played in the past. Get past these guys. I did have one game I played through and I beat, this week. Actually, two. One is, I played my indie game of the month. I seem to be picking a lot of really short games. I played, well, a group is working on translating East 5 on PS. I gotta play any of those games, I tell ya. I need to play those. Aren't the originals for the MSX? Maybe I'd actually play an MSX version. Maybe I should just learn Japanese. It would help, maybe. Yeah, no, recently I played through the entirety of Gato Roboto, a PC game. I think it was released in 2018? It's a cutesy little monochromatic game where you play as a cat who has piloted a mech suit, and then it becomes Metroid. It's just Metroid. It's very lovingly Metroid in its ways, but it's Metroid. It's got some cool parts about it. I like how it constantly has you jumping in and out of the mech suit, so you're constantly controlling, you know, yeah, like as the cat you can run up walls, but you die in one hit, and then as the, you know, in the mech suit, you know, it's Metroid. You can shoot walls and shoot enemies and stuff like that. You can also hop out and there's like submarine sections, there's some turret sections. There's actually a nice bit of variety in that game. It's structured very much like Metroid Fusion, where you've got your kind of centralized hub, and then you've got your, I guess your maps, your kind of world areas, and each one is pretty self-contained, and you sort of clear out most of what's in it in like one fell swoop. I don't even think there's actually any backtracking involved, other than like walking around the areas, except for one very awkward part at the end of the game where you're just meant to walk back to the start, like the landing pad of the game. Like, imagine if, like, yeah, like, why do we need to go back to the landing pad? It is very cheap right now. I said at the end of the day, it costs half the price of a can of cat food. So, you know, if you're gonna, like, I do think it's actually really neat for its price. What I would complain about is that it's awfully short. It was 2 hours long for me. And I found all but one of the health pack pickups. It's quite easy to know where the hidden stuff is. It's quite easy to just go out and get it. The bosses were a bit frustrating at times. Sometimes there were like big difficulty jumps out of nowhere. But generally all the rest of the gameplay was a bit easy. And I do wish there was a bit more time to just sort of like play around with its mechanics, because I'm like, man, you know, like, I mean, 2 hours is a decent bit of time, but it's like, man, you know, like, they could have just kept going on. There could be more to this. So, yeah, I would have liked more to exist in that game. But I like the art style, I like what was in it, and I thought it was actually pretty okay. Yeah, the replayability is only really there for, like, speedrunners, really. But yeah, you know, the price is so dirt cheap, especially right now in the Steam sale, that, you know, it's a fair go. It's a fair 2 hours. So, last night I watched an interesting YouTube video recommending a bunch of indie games. Surprised you didn't know any of them. Ooh. I don't really know too many indie games, and then there's a bunch I play. I played a bunch in the Next Fest, and I was like, man, none of those were for me. So, some of them killed my motivation to play more demos. I was like, oh my gosh, like, what's going on here? So, again, also, I will do a demo for my game when I'm ready. That's, you know, we're way far away from that point, so all I can say is progress update, but I definitely would be, hey, give yourself a very comfortable demo. It should be easy for the Gran Turismo crowd, because all you gotta do is just, like, arcade mode with a few cars and tracks. You don't even have to do anything feature-wise, you're just like, yeah, do that. I'll show you after the stream. Yeah, I can give it a look, yeah. At least you don't have to fight the golems again. We need to step guard. It's kind of annoying you have to keep doing this, though. We're one floor in. We're not even all the way there. How many floors was it? 4? 5? Yeah, four floors to get through. Just takes all this time to even just get to that boss, I tell ya. But yeah, I might have a crack at it. Like, I might have an actual decent go. Because, like, you know, once you get the Sage's Stone, you really have, like, a strat. Unless you're playing with one character. The Sage's Stone is kind of okay, but its usefulness wanes as you have fewer characters on your team. Because obviously, healing everyone is, like, great when you have lots of health out there. When you're one person, it's like, just heal yourself, just heal all. But you can get away with it. You'd be higher level, naturally, because you'd be only yourself. And then you'd probably get away with a heal all, because you'll have higher defense, you'll be taking less damage. Main character also takes remarkably less damage from everything now. It is interesting playing this game with only one character. And I think that's to sort of address this game again, because I don't think I've been saying stuff. Marrow. You know, that character from a Super Mario RPG. I did pick up in the sale a bunch of games that were on the deep discounts. So I got Bug Snacks. That's not a deep discount, but I was like, I want to play Bug Snacks for $10. And then what was another one? Automobilista 2, which is one of those games with the egregious season passes, but hey, you know, base game. I'll play it and I'll have my enjoyment there. Gotta always second guess. There you go. Second guessing my controls. Get Catacomb Kids, peer pressure. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. But I do need to judge soon, I guess, don't I? Because the sale is ending in a few days, so... But yeah, I don't think there's any, like, huge... I mean, I guess, like, you know, is there a rush to get the game as well if you're not going to play it right now? You know. Do I have Marrow? I'm not too sure. Man, these guys got a lot of health, don't they? Isn't it weird? Now that I can heal everyone all the time, I just, like, I don't worry about taking damage. I do worry about this. This is a bit mean. You see Rag's not taking as much damage from, the breath. That's the stuff I was trying to avoid. Taking too much damage from breath attacks. Because it is going to come up in this boss. 100%. I shouldn't really be attacking him, I should be attacking the Archmage. There we go, let's get through him. But yeah, Gato Roboto was good. The other one that I finished, and I've been playing this on and off for quite a bit already, but now it's a proper finish, is Pokemon Card GB2. The sequel to the Pokemon trading card game. I had played this in Let's Play or the original in Let's Play format ages ago, and I knew that there was a sequel, but I was like, oh, it's Japanese only. Well, there's a great fan translation, and it's a really good one. I really appreciate it. He's done a lot of good work. I'm sorry, whoever did it, I don't know your name off the top of my head. But this sequel is everything, like, it's the same game, but more. Somewhat, like, ridiculously the same game. It's like, oh my gosh, like the same music, the same environments, a lot of... In fact, actually, I don't even know if there's any cards that appeared in the first game and not in that one. It's very, very, very much the same game. But it goes twice as far. It's got double the number of, like, battles and double the number of, you know, like, locations, and then double number of cards and all that. See ya, Blub. Have a good one. It's it's very much a same but more. I think that, especially for the scope of the original trading card game, I like the variety a lot more. I like the idea of now it's not like there's only one Machop card in the game or something like that. It's like, oh, now you got a handful. I got 4 different, I got like 4 or 5 different Pikachu cards. There's a lot of different cards in this one. So I like the idea of being like, oh, you know, which kind of card do I go with? You know, which one's the one that really, like, you know, cements my strategy. So I like that there. You've also got the funky energy cards in this one, so it's nice. I do wish the game described Dark Evolutions better, because I think it's something that they started to introduce. Some cards, instead of being like, oh, you know, it's, you know, there's Dark Raichu or something like that, and there is a Dark Raichu card, and Dark Raichu evolves from Pikachu, regular Pikachu, but then I think what's an example I had? I had Dark Charmeleon and Dark Charizard, and Dark Charizard can't be put on regular Charmeleon, and that threw me off. And I'm like, oh, it sort of pigeonholes your strategy a little bit in that case, and they didn't fully describe that. Also, nice, by the way, just nice reflection there. Yeah, these guys are a bit annoying, aren't they? The time sinks right here. There we go, we'll get through these guys pretty quick. But yeah, that was a bit annoying. Other than that, though, a lot of the quirks of the game is just still, you know, the same old quirks, like the classic hitting A, B, start, select in the middle of a battle to just, like, redo your turn if a coin flip doesn't go your way. And I had some quirky AI stuff, like, I had that, and I knew that, oh, my Pokemon's confused, and if I go on with my turn, I flip a tails and I hit myself in confusion, and then I lose my Pokemon. The AI seemed to also believe that, so it proceeded to put energy cards on their bench Pokemon forever, for the rest of the fight, and then they ran out of cards, and I'm like, how did the AI calculate this one? It just continually thought setting up its bench was better than actually, like, setting up its primary Pokemon and attacking me. And because I never attacked it, that scenario never changed for it, so it's a little quirky there. I do wish I was a little better, and I think the first game was guilty of a lot of that as well. But yeah, also fun fact, Pokemon Trading Card Game 2 is the very last released Game Boy Color game in Japan. I just thought that's a fun note. They stopped support for the Game Boy Color real quick, but you know, I just find that's interesting that, like, that's the case there. It's like, oh, okay. We are almost there, because this is the last floor. They ended with a good one. Oh yeah, it's a good one. It's a shame it never got localized, though, because it's really good. And, you know, other than the fact that it's a lot of text to translate, I don't see there being any reason why an English audience wouldn't enjoy it. Wouldn't enjoy it, especially with the fact that there's the existing game already there. I'm not too sure what trading card you got promotionally with the game, if you did at all. Because the original Game Boy Color one had a special Mew card to sort of promote the movie, I think. Did it? No, what did it have? No, I think it just had a Mewtwo card. Yeah, I think it had Mewtwo. The Mew card, I'm thinking, was with the VHS copy of the movie. Yeah, these guys are getting some gnarly crits in there, I tell ya. It really does take your time getting to that boss, though, don't they? There we go. Cross the bridge. Down we go. Up and around. Long up and around. Oh, I gotta fight these guys. No, I'm running from these ones. They're just gonna take so much time. And hopefully they don't snag a kill in the meantime, but... Please no kill. Please no kill. Ah, come on. I just want to run away. We're just gonna get a kill on air, because why not? Okay, I really want to know, what's the odds? What is the calculation on running away in this game? Because every time I want to run away, it always feels like a struggle like this, and I wonder if it's... they've got the mercy rule. I'm very certain there is a mercy rule where if you have you know, three fleas and it doesn't work out, the fourth one always works. I'm pretty certain that's in this game. But then, like, after that, I'm like, or like up to that, I'm like, what determines how many runs you can do? I see what you mean about the blue backgrounds, though. There you go. But yeah, no, Pokemon GB2, I liked it quite a fair bit, so... Yeah, I haven't played too many, like, games I've absolutely loved too recently, but, definitely some solid ones, and I think solid ones are pretty good. Although I did play We Love Katamari, and I do need to finish it up. It's Dragon Ball. It is John Dragon Ball himself. Well, yeah, exactly. I think ultimately, you know, when you play games, you're gonna have a bell curve. You're gonna have most games sit in the, it's alright, because most games are alright at the very least. But then, yeah, like, which ones do you truly love? It's a bit tricky. Like, hold on, if I go to my backlogs and I go sort by... can I display... I wish I could display the ratings right now. That's okay. Yeah, We Love Katamari is a zinger. I'd never played it before, so I'm actually really enjoying it. I played, Dharmacy, like, ages ago, though, so... well, I think I can apply a filter, and I can say at least a, or actually a 3.5. The last zinger I did play was Phantasy Star 4. I think that was a proper zinger. And I'm really enjoying Shining Force 2, so I am, like, I say that just knowing I haven't finished it yet, but I am really enjoying it. So that's all good. But yeah, any other ones that, I really enjoyed that I played recently? I think from recent plays, I played Jak and Daxter earlier this year for the first time, and I'm like, ooh, that one was a zinger. That one got to me. I liked that one. Yeah, not too many others. The Doom 1 and 2 release is really good, but I mean, that is Doom, so... okay, so we're here. How is health going? We are set, very set. We might as well just have a crack at it. Here we go. So... Sigil to... Oh, true, yeah. So as we approach the pedestal, 11:30 PM approaches us, but that's okay. There he is, the man, the myth. Biendeo, so good of you to come to my sacrificial altar. I am the destroyer of all. All life shall be sacrificed to me. Despair will rule the world. Biendeo, you shall be my sacrifice. Come hither, my loyal subjects. Destroy them and shower me with their suffering and despair. So, secretly, you gotta fight this guy. I'm pretty sure he's, probably, how would I put it? Like, we just need to stop the breath attacks as well. So we've got a, what's it? Barrier will probably just be the fix. And then Nyx always attacks, and then we do increase just in case he does a melee attack. This is the guy who killed my dad, yes. So barrier should help with reducing this damage. But then as long as like this damage isn't, because he's just gonna attack a few times a turn as well, and that's why I want the increase there as well, because I need a bit of physical defense. He's gonna drop off with that. Ah, come on. But other than that, you know, I mean, just use the Sage Rock and keep slapping him, I guess. I don't see there being anything too weird about attacking him. My chair keeps depressing. I don't know if you hear me like shake from my desk that's coming through on the mic. It's not to say he doesn't hit hard still, but at least the Sage Rock will distribute out or soften the blows a bit. Like, it still heals about 80, so he might still be hitting a bit harder. Just keep an eye out. And then, yeah, just use Rags as a secondary healing source. There you go. So I don't think he's got a crazy amount of health. He should be pretty okay. And I'm not going, you know, in with any saps or any, like, increased damage. But yeah, with the barrier, it's like, you know, he doesn't actually deal that much damage from the breath attacks, which is actually quite nice. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's the same strat every turn. I wonder how much health he's actually got. I mean, I'm treating this like it's a normal enemy, but it's like, you know, he's still kind of... I'm keeping an eye on that health, because the moment anyone drops below like 100, it's like, oh, you know, what's happening there? Oh, there you go. Okay, I'm gonna need to double check that air doesn't have no health. There we go. So, oh, even better. Even better, you can heal between battles, because you know that's not the end of it. I'll just drop a heal. One extra heal. Maybe I should have healed us. That's okay. So as we approach a bit further, we then get a fight with a Barabomus. You thought Baramus was bad? Well, here's him again. Barabomus. Let's cast some barrier, because you know exactly what's going to happen. Flames! A breath attack. Wow. This is a bit of a meaner breath attack as well, isn't it? But I don't think he attacks... Oh, maybe he can attack twice and just doesn't. Or didn't, rather. But yeah, you know what this means. We go back into it. I'm curious if, you know, let's do a sap. Let's see if we can drop his defense a bit and speed this up a little bit. He's got some defense, doesn't he? And he's also got Explodette, which is not the most fun. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Alright, we should have some clean sweeps now. Oh! Oh, 247 damage. Very nice. Very nice. So one thing I found actually very cool, and I'm not too sure if you've noticed, but notice his pose and his, like, regular sprite here, you know, with his left arm raised. If you notice that this is actually the same sprite as the skeletons that we've been, or the same pose as the skeletons we've been fighting, I just thought that's actually kind of interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of defense dropped, yeah. Aw, oh, come on, you gotta hit him. I don't know why air is last out of my characters now. Explode it. There you go. He's really not that bad, actually. I think we're mostly good on the health. Let me just double check. Yeah, I could use just a single heal on air just to make sure air's over the line a little bit. A little further, yeah, the same skeleton sprite I just mentioned, still happening. I don't think this guy has any breath, so a straight defense is actually all that is needed, and maybe an what else have we got? Where did it go? I know there's defense, but also where's... Not heal us, not beat off, not heal more. Am I blind? Am I just like not seeing it? I might just be blind. Okay. Well, we might as well do a sap and then a increase. Just get that defense up. Yeah, you see how it goes up to page 10? It's like, that's what I mean by like, oh my gosh. I was thinking, did air have what's the one attack that I'm looking for? Oh my gosh, also bee dragons just chilling there. Oh, that's fun. I don't know why. What's the one? Never mind. Increase. We'll just go for it. Well, we didn't get the sap off. That's okay. We'll keep trying. Actually, do I? Do I need to keep trying? That was a decent hit already. Oh, but 140 health is a lot, isn't it? Oh, but another 140. Okay, that is a proper heal all scenario right there, actually. And we'll cast increase again because I seem to need 2 of these. I really appreciate when he misses all the time. There you go. We're gonna need 2 of those apparently, because man, that was a bit of a hit. Oh, that's still a bit of a hit. But that's okay because he only attacks once, so we could get away with a Sage Rock heal out of that one. And other than that, I don't know. Like, let's try and get the sap out. I don't know. I really want to see if his defense can go down. You missed again, Nyx. What? Nah, I don't think he's liking the sap. Okay, let's just go for it. Yeah, so as long as he doesn't attack the same person twice, it should be okay. And even then, you just drop a heal all when he's there. Oh, yeah, exactly. Keeps everyone alive. Batagomus. Gonus. Sorry. What is a gonus? What? There you go. See, there's a you know, a problematic. Oh no, he hit the same person twice, so we just do an extra top off there. Again, I'm curious how much health he's got. We're hitting him for a very decent amount each turn. So he shouldn't take too many turns. Isn't that interesting that we get like all these like mini bosses? And I say they're mini bosses because once you get the Sage Stone, it's like, oh, just kind of, you know, it just kind of falls through. It's like, oh, like, I'm just gonna heal every turn, man. You can't stop me. I also wonder if I'm over-leveled. Did I hit level 40? I'm not too sure if I did. If if I hadn't. Do you get to fight them again? I don't know. And I'm curious if that will be the case. Hopefully not. But it is good experience if you do, I guess. Also, how much money have they been giving? Probably not much money. Oh, he's double attacking. Oh, okay. A part of me is worried about air getting hit here, so I will probably do a heal all on air. And then we'll heal all Biendeo if he's hitting hard there. And remember, three characters on my team can revive. There you go. Easy enough. Yeah, not much gold, but definitely a bit of experience. No level 40. Okay. Might as well heal all Biendeo to get her up, and no one else needs anything, so... Well, Biendeo, what drives you to struggle so for the sake of a life? Destruction is my joy, there is no greater beauty than the dying. Come, you shall breathe your last within my arms. He speaks like he needs a bit of a proofread. Here we are, the final boss, Zoma. I am literally going to do the same actually, can I know I've got Iron Eyes, but also I'm just curious if I've got any other useful spells. Not particularly casting Return in a fight. Oh. Actually, does that guarantee of leaving a fight? I'm not testing it here, but I'm just curious. So we'll sort of just dive in for the attack. Air will do a barrier. Nyx will attack as always, and then we will do a increase to get everyone's defense up, because you never know. Oh, he's attacking first. He's not only attacking first, he's double upping with the spell, which is not the most fun, but sure. Yeah, he's gonna mean some serious business, so let's make sure that we've got this in the bag. Let's see, what else? Yeah, I don't know, I'll just sort of dive in with this and we'll get the Sage Rock. I'm a little worried about air on the health there, but... And let's see if a sap will work. Killed air right off the bat. And... Oh, dang. The amount of damage there was not fun. Yeah, this looks a bit worrying already, doesn't it? Well, yeah, he was way faster than everyone else as well, which was a bit worrying. Isn't it weird? He was way faster than like, look, yeah, it's like... Man. And with Nyx being the only person left, it's like, well... It's very over already. Right off the bat. I was really just outsped just then. Like, this is why speed is the most important stat in Pokemon. Oh, you know what I just realized as well? This is a goofy move from me. You know what I just realized? I meant to use the Blight Orb key item to make him slightly weaker. Oh well. Yeah, it's gonna take a bit to wander back, so I will probably just leave it there, and then we'll have a crack. Because also remember, there's a post-game dungeon that you can experience right off the bat as well. I didn't use the item. You know, the item that's who's holding on to it? I don't know, it keeps going. Oh, it's not even in my inventory. Yeah, it's in the back. Ah. Oh. Yeah, you need to do this. You need to use this item. It just reduces the damage of his attacks, but you still gotta cop an attack at the beginning. It literally, yeah, it just reduces the damage he does, which I guess makes it more palatable, because him dealing a to 120 damage to the entire party attacks is not fun. So, but yeah, I guess we'll take a crack at it next week. Very likely the final stream, and then yeah, we'll take a crack at the one of the post-game dungeons. There's a I mean, there's a post-game dungeon. You know, it'd be a weird next stream otherwise. So we'll give it a check out, and then I mean that will be the last stream, because other than that, it's all grinding and bonuses afterwards. So it is a Biendeo moment, yes. How about bonus points, just so I don't forget? The light orb indeed goes to me. I don't need this two-edged sword in my inventory. There you go. Save on top of it. Anyways, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there next week. It's so hilarious that, like, those, like, bosses up to... Well, the mini-bosses were just like, hey, you know, whatever. Use the same strat on all three of them. We'll get them next time. Exactly. So anyways, with that, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, or didn't enjoy it, you can follow on Twitch, 8:30 PM Australian Eastern Standard every Monday. We'll finish this up next week. And then, we'll be on to Mirror's Edge before soon. Missed parts of this or whatever, VOD will be on YouTube very soon as well as all the other VODs. And yeah, follow on the Fetty, m.biendeo.com, for all the fun ramblings, as well as also chatting to fun people who are there, talking about stop killing games and all that. And yeah, other than that, Steam sale is ending soon, so if you want something, go grab it. Financial year ended, so hopefully no one got bit too hard by tax return. Well, in Australia at least. They do tax time in end of October in the US. It's very odd. It's very odd. Why October? Buy Catacomb Kids? I need to look that up then. Alright, have a good one, everyone. Peace!